Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins are now a season-high 5 games over 500 after their third win in a row last night, 5-2 in St. Louis. Fraser Minton scored a pair of goals in the win.
Good four-line effort tonight, and after the first, we knew that wasn't our best, and knew we could play better, and came out, did that in the second, and just stuck with it from there.
Mark Kastelik also scored twice, and the Bruins swept the season series between the two teams by beating former head coach Jim Montgomery twice in less than a week. David Pastrnak 2 assists in his return to the lineup. Bruins visit Winnipeg tomorrow night. Patriots players will be back at work today. They got a big home game coming up on Sunday against Buffalo. The Indianapolis Colts have signed 44-year-old quarterback and Pro Football Hall of Fame semifinalist Phillip Rivers to their practice squad. Outkick reports the team also reached out to retired quarterback Derek Carr as well in the last few days. The Major League Baseball winter meetings are continuing in Orlando. Red Sox yesterday traded Vaughn Grissom to the Angels for a low minor league outfielder. Wilyer Abreu will play for Team Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic. Jaron Duran will suit up for Team Mexico. Former Sox top pitching prospect Brian Mata has signed to play in Japan. Philadelphia has re-signed Kyle Schwarber to a 5-year, $150 million contract. And the Dodgers have signed former Mets closer Edwin Diaz to a 3-year, $69 million deal. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Boston.
Boston's Home for Sports.
Bow, bow, bow.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
You might hate me, but you're listening.
and Hardy
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
on 98.5.
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah. Boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you going to have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Please, Mommy.
Hey, Dwayne, I'm not the caller here. Say something.
Hello.
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 Hi. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. A big show today. We got people from the winter meetings in Florida. We got Chris Forsberg. Some Christmas content, including our friend Fake Blind Scott at 8 o'clock has done some Christmas carols. So Blind Scott should be very excited. He loves Fake Blind Scott, but he really does. Good. He takes great pleasure in that. He's very honored. And Blind Scott, I've not read them, but Blind Scott was on fire yesterday. Blind Scott sending in emails, and
Let's see. Already this morning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 emails so far this morning.
he says, I've got a conspiracy where Hardy tells Dave Iraq he should email all the time, and he gives Hardy cheaper work around his house. I thought it was so hilarious when the guy was emailing all the time, and he was Hardy's friend, and Hardy encourages him. So your friend Dave Iraq.
Iraqi.
You know the guy, Dave, Iraq, Hardy's friend, that emails all the time.
Yeah.
We should have him in the studio and ask him weird questions about Hardy and then try to get some information from him. He seems like he might be a character that you want to H. Dot, 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 dot. My mom's car got towed to Walsh Brothers in South Boston. I told her not to come by because I had a social worker appointment at 4 p.m. So she comes by an hour before it gets her car towed. LOL. I don't know why I don't know if you've ever been to that tow lot in South Boston. Dot, dot, dot.
Dave,
of course I've been there.
Yeah. And just for the record, Dave generally does like a spring cleanup for me and or a fall aeration and overseeding, and I pay him even though I tell him, as you can with a friend, that he oftentimes damages things on my property, that he insists that he will discount off the bill. But then I say, no, it's somehow my fault, which I don't know how it's my fault when he punctures an irrigation line. But I say, don't worry about it, Dave.
Because you didn't properly tell him where they were.
You know what it is? It's actually the settling of the yard. And the irrigation lines are supposed to be buried at a minimum of an 8-inch depth. And in the 8 years we've been in that house now, the ground kind of settles and the irrigation lines are closer to the surface than they should be.
And that's a big problem I have with the earth. I don't like that the earth does that.
Hey, the house settles, the ground settles.
Yeah.
Things settle, John. Mm-hmm. They settle. They get lower.
And,
unless they get higher.
I went to church on Sunday, as you know, and it's very controversial to Hardy.
It's controversial to everyone. No one understands you going to church solo on Sunday.
Well, no one to go with. Who am I going to go with? I mean, I'm not going to make my kids go. So, I mean, who am I going to take?
Why
a
go?
Date?
Why go?
Because it's Christmas time. I wanted to see tis the reason for the season. I wanted to get in there and see what was doing. That's why I went. But I did struggle with something there, is that I afterwards, and it's a reverend. The Episcopal guy is a reverend. I saw on the sheet, in the handout.
In the program?
In the program. I said to him, I'm struggling with something. I said, can we talk? And he said, yeah. And so we went afterwards, and I said, how can there be a God? And he goes, war? And I go, no. He goes, children dying, and I
famine.
Said, famine, right? I don't know if he said that, but you're on the right track. And I said, these are all bad things, but what about the ground settling? in irrigation lines, the depth is only 1/8 of an inch.
I thought you were going to say Joe Rogan not nominated for a Golden Globe for his podcast. Like, how is there a God?
Well, I think I'll try to make a viral video so I can get on his good side and become a guest. But nonetheless, it was he didn't have an answer.
Yeah,
he thought of leaving the clergy because he was like, you make an excellent point. Why are all these irrigation lines getting punctured due to some preordained settling of the ground? And, then we had to pray on it. And we did, but still, we're waiting for an answer. I'm waiting to be told what's going on there.
God hears all questions and prayers. Doesn't mean he answers them.
Yeah. And then we walked down to the beach, and we saw 2 pairs of footprints, and then it became one.
Oh, was it at a time in your life when things got really difficult?
Yeah.
And
I said, where are you? And he goes, da-da. I'm carrying you. And I said, thank you. And then we had a good laugh. Me and God.
Footprints in the sand, John. Footprints in the sand.
That's fantastic.
That is something that's always baffled me, though, is people. You'll hear it all the time, and you'll hear it as advice that's given to people. They'll say, hey, "Bobby, look at that booming voice from Bobby in the hallway. We have to keep the door open because the heat is something's going on where the heat and air conditioning, something where it's uncomfortably warm in here."
Yeah.
Now, this is not, in my opinion, a station problem because there's no way the station's responsible in a leased building where we only have a part of a floor. There is no way that we are responsible for the air conditioning system. I find that very difficult to believe.
Yeah, and so we have the door open now to try and regulate the temperature in the studio. But I have to say, I kind of like this open door policy with the on-air studio. Anybody who comes by, feel free to come on in.
Come on in, have fun.
All I know is that Bob is not expressing any concern about his future in the hallway. That is something that almost never happens. Bob is a beacon of optimism and hope. And what's funny is Bob's great, and Bob's very good at radio, and he's been in New York City. He's had this great career, and he is not he's not far away from retirement, but yet he's so close to retirement that he should be pretty just like, okay. And he's got a contract to take him through retirement, but he's absolutely convinced this contract is not going to be honored, which I don't believe is legal. So that's what he's obviously booming about in the other side of the hallway. And, you know, I'll play golf with him and stuff, and he'll be like, oh. And I'm like, you have a contract. You're looking to retire at the end of it. I don't know why you think this is – like, you're set.
Out of all the people who need to be worrying in this building, you're at the bottom of that list.
And, I mean, this is the time that you're worrying in radio. I mean, radio, I've never been in a situation in radio in my entire life where they were like, things are great. Never, ever, ever. Never was it a boom time. Always the end of times. It's a cry wolf situation. I mean, and it's got to be the same with him. Even though very controversially, he said that when he worked in New York City for a long time, and he said they gave him the option. He lived in New Jersey. He said they gave him the option of a car service or parking in a garage. And he said he took the parking in the garage. Mm-hmm. So he would commute in from New Jersey. We could have had a car service.
No, I don't understand that at all.
None of us did.
Especially in Manhattan. If you're working in Manhattan, the last thing
Well, John, that's everything. I mean, that's why you would have the car service. That's why they offer it, is because it's Manhattan. Yeah, if he was working in Hoboken, they wouldn't have off from the car service. So, but yeah, it's got to be a control issue. It's got to be...
Is there any benefit to having access to that parking spot when you're not working?
I think he might have been getting to that, but see, Manhattan's not 3 blocks. Like, if you can drive in and park in that spot, you still got to, like, maneuver your way around there. I have a friend that's in Manhattan. She was going 4 miles. The Uber was $212 last night to go 4 miles. So, I mean, how much is it from New Jersey? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going in on a Saturday night, and you could take the train on a Saturday night. So, you know, there is, as much as they don't want to fund it federally, there is, you know, there are options for transportation there. And the new mayor, it's all going to be free, and it will pay for itself. Don't worry about it. But it's all happening. Not a flaw in the plan.
Everyone needs a Julio, you know? Everyone needs what Francesa had.
Well, that's the dream.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it here, but if I even worked in Boston, I'd want a car service. Like, if they offered it, I would definitely take a car service. Sure. I worked in Manhattan. Even when I got offered the job to work for MTV, and they were offering a cool $35,000 for me to move to Manhattan in my 20s and work as a VJ for MTV. $35,000 is the offer that they put on the table, which then the station said, oh, no, we need to keep you. And they offered me $75,000 to do nights in Atlanta, which was a kind of a no-brainer at that point.
Did you ever tell them how much MTV was offering?
No.
I didn't think so.
And
I wouldn't have offered you $75,000.
All right, since you asked, it's actually interesting to me, and if it's not to the audience, I don't know what to tell you. So, okay, I went out to the Grammys and with another guy, and we were doing stuff around there, and we were a big radio station. So it was us, K-Rock New York, and K-Rock Los Angeles, in like 100 other stations. But only us, K-Rock New York, and K-Rock Los Angeles got guests. Like, Dave Grohl came in, and he would only do our 3 stations. Like, it happened a lot. This was, like, at the height of everything. And something happened where me and this guy got the attention of Carson Daly, who was working. I think he was doing MTV, but he was on K-Rock and then got MTV, and something happened where he was on K-Rock Los Angeles and he got MTV.
He was doing both for a while.
And
or
so
something.
I originally think that he liked Axel, the guy that I was working with, but they got confused because they figured it just must have been me. Because I was like 23. I was probably 23. And I think that it started with mistaken identity. That in a way it's a compliment, in a way it's mistaken identity. I think that Carson Daly was like, there's this guy at 99X you got to pay attention to. I think he'd be great. And I think he was talking about Axel, but then when they listened, they thought it must have been me. So they hadn't offered anything concretely. But without me, dude, I was 23. I was doing nights. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Like, I didn't have a contract. It went through the industry, not in the paper or in trades, but it got somehow to management that MTV was interested in me. And I was kind of unaware of that. And then, in only how these things can, it manifested on both ends very quickly. Right. So MTV was like, oh, we're interested. Yeah. Like, because they found out, 99X found out about it.
Right.
So they were like, make a video. So I got drunk with my roommate and made some video, and it was terrible. I mean, I wasn't like falling down drunk. I shouldn't say I got drunk. We were drinking on like a Friday night and like made this dumb video.
Right.
And sent it off to them. And they called and they're like, okay. And they acted like very much like this was the biggest favor they could ever ask me. And I was like overjoyed. I was, oh my God, I could be on MTV. And, I don't know what I would have done there. VJ is a pretty loose term. I don't know if I would have been Jesse, the scarfed metal guy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I would have been him or a Dave Holmes type. Maybe very knowledgeable about the music.
Dave Holmes going to be on the 90s cruise.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
He's still kicking around the industry.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was going to be like the fat kid that took over for Ricky Rackman at Headbangers Ball. I don't know what I was going to be. I don't know if you remember him.
I do not.
And you'd recognize him.
Still can't believe Jesse beat out Dave in the talent search.
Well, they hired Dave, so it all worked out, and he outlasted Jesse. Jesse wanted to be a rock star, and he put out a very good album. You remember the video of that Jesse?
I do.
Now we're very deep if you're not over the age of 45. So anyway, so they were like, yeah, like $35,000, and then things got very not fun because I started to panic and think my life is gonna suck. Like, how would I possibly live there for $35,000? I found the city to be very intimidating. I had very little experience in that city. I didn't know how you get around. I didn't know anything. And I didn't have an agent. And I was just like, how do I get places? This is how we got to the car service. I'm like, I need a car service. And they had no problem. They're like, yeah, give you a car service. And that's the thing. Is yeah, we'll give you car service. And then the station called me into an office. And it was not full-time. I did not have a full-time shift. And they said, or I did. I was doing nights, but they did not have a contract. I did not have a contract. And they said, we'll give you $75,000. And so I said, oh. And I sent, which is more than Adam makes. And I went to this day. Adam makes $35,000.
Wow.
And I went, George makes $175,000.
Jeez.
Who's in for Ryan today.
For you, George.
And I went and I sent the contract to my father, and he had no idea what he was looking at, and I signed the contract. There you go. So I could have been somebody. I could have been like one of these VJs that went on to great success.
Yeah, I don't see them calling you to do the 90s cruise.
No. I probably could have gotten on the 90s cruise in all seriousness if I would have, because I could have probably gotten a job on Sirius. But
dumb move.
Yeah, not on the 80s at 8, because that is a Mark Goodman, Alan Hunter situation.
You're more like a 90s on 9 guy.
Yeah. But even that would be unfair to me because I didn't work in the 90s.
How about Y2K? Could be on Y2K.
Now we're cooking with gas.
All right.
But I'm irreverent, so I don't know what they would want out of me.
You might
there.
have to, and as your program director, I would be happy to be put in a position where I would have to reel you in as opposed to pushing you out there. That's fine.
And I told you the plan that both MTV, one of them stole them from the other, but they both wanted it. They wanted me to be a Dennis Leary type. Dennis Leary at the time was doing those ads where he would rant. Yeah. And they both asked me to perform like a Dennis Leary style series of rants.
We like that. Just do that.
And neither of them liked what I put out there because I had no idea what they wanted me to do. I'm like, you want me to just do what he does? I'm like, I don't have any idea what you want. And they're like, you're a dick. Like, go be a dick. And I'm like, I can do that. But I don't know really what you want me to do. I'm very confused. I've been on the radio like 100 times. I don't really know what you want me to do. And most of that time, half of them at least were quasi running a board for other people where I would just chime in every now and again. So I didn't know really what they wanted. But then, then it's just a wild ride from there, Then it's just, local radio forever. It's really been, now it's publishers fighting over my story.
Yeah.
They're like, we think you got the new Grease Man autobiography.
Oh.
Well, tell them to listen to the first segment of the show today. They can just transcribe it and they can have it for free.
Yeah, that's the prologue.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's a long book.
Well, the prologue, I'd shoot it down, but I'd shoot it down to 8 pages, but I could really knock that story out. And then, so if you're at the bookstore and you open up the book, you're hooked immediately because you've heard my story of my MTV greatness.
It's a grabber.
Yeah. Carrie's got some advice, and then we'll break. Carrie, let him down slowly. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Hardy.
Carrie, you're calling way too much. I forgot your name was Carrie.
Oh.
He kind of dropped the ball yesterday with the fake phone call.
What was
Carrie, I love you, but you did the thing yesterday that I was not a huge fan of.
What was the subject line?
You got to call Dig Safe.
Oh, okay. I do love Dig Safe.
No,
They come out there and they start poking around and they spray paint stuff and they put little flags in.
Oh, is that right?
I was reticent to drop it because I knew he was going to talk about Dig Safe.
Yeah.
But Carrie called in yesterday as someone else, and I felt that it's no offense to him, but I felt it missed the mark a little bit.
There was the Dig Safe was out with one of our neighbors the other day, and we didn't know.
Did the
These
dog
are
come by?
very nice neighbors. We just don't talk to them as much as the other neighbors. And
Why,
there was
foreign?
There was some no, but there was some discussion a little bit. There was some. U.S. born, I think. But anyway.
Still don't belong, really.
No, it's fine. But it's just not, the people you see on the street every day like we do with the other neighbors. And there was some discussion against the rest of us, among the rest of us. What's going on over there? What's with Dig Safe being out? What are they doing? What are they doing?
So you didn't watch this from the safety of your window. You found out about this after it had happened.
No, right. I did not see Dig Safe come out. I saw the Dig Safe flags and everything. All has been revealed.
They raised the flag on the post. Dig Safe came out and they like
the ground. They
pirate.
raised the ground a little bit. Yeah,
or like
no, they didn't.
Or a warring country. They raised a flag.
There's no flag, and they didn't raise the ground, John.
Be safe for everybody. They are Dig Safe, right?
I think he doesn't mean raise, RAISE. He means like raise.
You know what?
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of a good idea. It's like, if it's not safe to dig there, what if I just raise the ground?
Yeah.
What if I just put more dirt on top?
Sure.
Then can I dig?
Well, everyone should have a flagpole, or I don't even know how you identify that you live here. There should be some sort of
there was a
U.S. flag and some state flag.
There was a time when my father, who drank, required us to go outside every night for the lowering of the flag.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God, really?
Real?
And he was kind of doing it as a gag. He was kind of doing a bit, but he was also like 19 red, white, and blues deep. So
White Sharks, yeah.
It wasn't a question of, oh, he's just playing a joke. We don't have to go out there. You did have to go out there for the lowering of the flag.
Or he'd get pissy, yeah.
Yes.
It's funny, real quick. So Axel, the guy that the whole MTV thing was with, his dad lived in this, like, whatever community in Peachtree City for old people, like, whatever it is. And there was a news story where because he was a veteran, that he painted his garage door an American flag. And it was in the news that he wouldn't get rid of it. And the HOAs Association was all pissed off. And Axel got on the air very righteously and was like, hey, like, look what they're doing to my dad. This is so unfair. And I'm like, are you out of your mind? You can't paint your effing garage the American flag. People trying to sell these houses.
Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, when you're next to some lunatic with some, like, 10-foot by 12-foot painting on their garage, get out of here. I don't care what it is. You can't paint your garage. And his dad was on the air, and everyone was, and Axel's like, why aren't you, like, being nicer? Because it's idiotic.
Yeah. I'm going to do the Pied Piper logo on mine.
Yeah.
As long as we can paint our garage.
I don't care what it is. Like, you can't paint the big-ass mural on your garage with the American flag. Stop. Put a flag up if you want. But, my God. I mean, I'm not, I don't know, everyone putting a flag up trying to prove something to someone, but nonetheless. All right. We'll be back. The Bruins played last night against their own old coach, Jim Montgomery, who's having some struggles this year in St. Louis. We'll be back in just a moment.
More touch.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy very quickly. Paul, go ahead.
Hey, Fred, do you know if they were hiring you for MTV or MTV2 or MTV3?
There was no MTV3, and I don't know if there was MTV2. It was MTV.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it wasn't VH1. I was 23. It was going to be MTV. But to be honest, I don't know. I just know it was to be a VJ. I don't know. It wasn't like a show. It wasn't. So I was 23, so it was 98 or 99. Probably I might have been 24. It was I was 23 or 24. So it was they were still, having people host and talk up videos and stuff, and I just know they wanted to be me to be like Dennis Leary. Which Dennis Leary is very talented and other than the Hicks ripoff. Is a seminal, like, kind of individual. I didn't really feel comfortable, doing a Dennis Leary imitation. I didn't also think that might be great for my career. Being the guy that took over for the promos of Dennis Leary by acting like Dennis Leary. And to be honest, I would have done it. I just didn't know what they wanted me to do. I still don't quite know. They wanted me to, like, rant comedically, but I don't. But they didn't like the way I was doing it. They still didn't hire me.
We could ask Tom Calderone. You remember who Tom Calderone? He used to do a syndicated show like Rockline or something, but he was a consultant for a long time. And he was a consultant for Rock 92.9 and I think maybe kind of for the Sports Hub.
Perhaps.
For a little bit.
If he consulted Rock 92.9, it was early on, and I didn't deal with it.
I never worked with a consultant.
He was with MTV and VH1 back in the day. We should get him on the phone. Let's call the consultant, see if he remembers sifting through the tapes and resumes of one Fred Toucher.
It'd be a good bit, but he would probably send us an invoice afterwards. I don't know if I'm interested in that.
I haven't worked with a consultant in Boston. They never had me work with any show I was on work with a consultant, which was nice. When we first did sports,
that was Gary.
Yeah, right.
You had a consultant.
That was Gary.
No,
that was
Gary Tangway.
Because Chernoff, they go when he was still in town, when it just started, everyone was freaking out about us, and Chernoff was like, "You're fine, don't worry about it," and that was his thing, which was you don't know how beneficial that was. Yeah. Fast forward 2025, you're still slumming it while I'm doing big TV projects. I'm the one who made the noise in the chair company.
I have to apologize about Evan. They asked him if they could dye his hair at the stylist today, and he was too polite to say no.
Oh. Yeah, that's it. He could be going in the bathroom there. It could be anything.
You know what? I improv there, but cutting room floor because it was too out there. Is I was like, I'm like, what's he dyeing his hair? I'm like, what is he she? I poked fun at social mores. I Hinchcliffed the thing.
Was he a funny boy?
I killed Tony the whole thing. I went anti-trans on it. Real ground. It was groundbreaking. I was pushing buttons, fighting back Austin style. All right. So what happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates. Comedy Mothership, the mother effort. Like that group of sweet comics that are down there all doing the same thing.
How are we doing?
What happened last night brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Your Boston Bruins in action last night, Hardy.
In St. Louis, taking on their former coach, Jim Montgomery. The Blues on the board first, 1-0 after the first period. And then it's Fraser Minton to the rescue.
Shot got blocked. Minton in the far corner. Pastrnak loosed it along the near side post. Minton scores. The rebound came back through the top of the crease, and Minton buries it to make it a 1-1 game.
Yeah, he buried the puck, but I buried the lead. You heard Pastrnak in there. He was on the ice last night, Johnny Walgate.
Looked real good, too. They had him skating on the third line with Minton, by the way.
And Minton looks every day 14. Every inch of a 14-year-old. That was every time I see him, it's troubling to me how young that kid looks. I saw that goal.
Yeah.
That's a baby out there.
15:36 for his time on ice last night. So out there getting plenty of shifts and plenty of time. He didn't score, but that's okay. When a guy's got.
Is it?
Yeah, because you've got Mitten and you've got Kastelik.
Wins it back around to that far side. Jeannot gets over there. Soderstrom at the left point. Takes a shot. Score! Redirected by Corrali, it looked like, between the circles. And the Bruins grab a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, Zadorov fired a puck off of Corrali's armpit, and Kastelik was there to clean it up to make it 2-1 Boston. Later on, Kastelik again.
But then Dvorsky comes down to win the puck. Zadorov keeps it alive, throws it back in front, and they score! Puck sat down in the crease, and Kastelik able to knock it home. Bruins are back in front 3-2.
And that would end up being enough, but we would be remiss if we didn't mention Fraser Minton's whirling dervish goal to make it 4-2.
Campus over to Pete. Shot. Hit the post on the short side.
Is that 3 today?
Here's a drive by Minton. He scores! Fraser Minton put everything he had into that one-timer from between the circles. And he's got his second of the night, and the Bruins have a 4-2 lead.
He spun around and fell down on the ice like he was in the funny papers. But let me tell you, that puck found its way to the back of the net.
Look, their games in hand is starting to get a little less insane, even though they still have Florida still has 3 games in hand against Boston. But Florida's only played 28 games. The Bruins have played 31. There is still some discrepancy that is a little weird, but it is starting to even out a little bit. And due to the relative weakness of this division, the Bruins are tied for first place in the Atlantic, which is not something I would dismiss in December.
They are playing really well. I mean, did you guys see the first period last night?
Yes,
They were atrociously bad. It's like they forgot to start. They were awful.
And then the second period, they came out and dominated.
That's the thing. And Brickley and Beers said it on the radio. I was in the car. I heard him say it. And Brickley said it on TV. Once this team finds their game, they're real tough to beat. They're real tough to play against. And I don't know what Marco Sturm said to them between the first and second period, but it was night and day. First period, they were really bad, and they were only down 1-0. Swayman made a couple of big saves to keep them in it and keep it only 1-0. It should have been 2 or 3. But once they found whatever type of game they play, they were far better than this team. They're burying bad teams.
And so, like, Vrabel came in and is this, tremendous, coach, and he's having probably certainly deserves coach of the year. But not to be lost in all this, is there a better redemption story than Sweeney? If you look at Geeky's contract, if you look at the guys that he picked up, if you look at the hiring of Sturm,
just from the coaching aspect, because you go back and you think about the 2 coaches that were let go pretty quickly there between Cassidy and Montgomery, and you could argue whether it was the right thing to do with both of those guys. I don't know that any of us in here were on board with letting go of Montgomery, but the move to Sturm ended up so far looking like the right one.
Well, regardless, unless they fall apart, which is, certainly possible, it doesn't look like that might happen because, like John said, if they play this style of hockey, which seems realistic, you're not asking an awful lot of them. You're just asking them to execute this system. I mean, it's a home run. I mean, this team wasn't supposed to be competitive.
Take a look at the talent on this roster and just on paper, look at it compared to the other teams around them. They shouldn't be playing this well.
But that's why Sweeney is, I think it's so impressive, because this is the first time that he's rebuilt since he's been in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And I always gave him a break because they had an exceptionally long run, and he was just trying to patchwork things together and keep the band together as much as he could. And I did give him more of a break than most people. I wasn't a fan of him running through coaches, but, I mean, it's hard to argue it this season. I think they certainly shouldn't have fired Cassidy. I think he gave in to the players, and I don't know if that was the right decision, as evidenced by Vegas not only winning the Cup the next year, but Vegas is still arguably, the top 3 team in the league. At least they were a couple weeks ago. Maybe they've calmed down a little bit. But, they're 14-6. So, yeah, they're pretty good. So, anyway, but whatever he did and whatever talent he acquired in trades and in free agency was mocked. And at a certain point with these lower level players, who the hell knows? But inarguably, not the Lindstrom signing and all those things, which are still overpaid.
Yeah.
But the players he's picked up and the players that he traded for
fit the head coach
and
really
are
well.
contributing.
Yeah.
And that is pretty impressive. I'm very impressed with this Bruins team.
Also, think about all the chips he pushed to the center of the table a few years ago, all the first-round picks he traded. He went all in on that one historically good season. That, of course, was a disaster. And now you're left with the fallout of that, and it's only been a couple of years, and here we are.
Well, they haven't even gotten to the point, John, where obviously that, they've acquired amateur talent that they've developed and that is starting to – this is all without that happening. And there's still a couple years away from even acquiring the talent that's going to be the next generation. So
even the trades, like, for instance, getting Minton for Brandon Carlo.
That's what I've been saying.
And you also think about the Casey Middlestat trade, the Colorado trade.
Right. That's what I'm saying is that the player – I've said that. The players that he's gotten back in these deals are part of a team that is tied for the lead in the Atlantic Division.
And you also, I saw a stat this week about the young talent he's got. Apparently, one of the prospects he got back in that Charlie Coyle trade, Will Zellers, is among the NCAA leaders in goals for freshmen. I mean, playing for North Dakota. He has that kid Letourneau, who didn't score a goal for BC last season, has 9 of them this year in 6 or 7 games. I mean,
he was getting panned unfairly last year.
He's figured it out, whatever it is. Well, as a sophomore, and Hagens, thank God, is off to a good start at BC. I mean, all of the young players, this fits in with what you're saying, the younger players he has in the system are performing well at the collegiate level. Apparently, BC Sweeney has 4 young players with 10 goals or more in the NCAA. No other team has more than 2.
Well, he's on quite a hot streak, and that's good news because it's always good when they're in the playoff conversation, certainly. All right, we'll be back in just a moment to hear the headlines.
Sports.
resumes on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Listen at the end of this segment for your chance to win a $100 Visa gift card from Valvoline Instant Oil Change. What's going on?
How much appetite do you have for this Notre Dame athletic director?
It's the athletic director. I think is kind of in a position where he's got to do all this stuff. It's not even him. It's just that university, and it's their point. Notre Dame's point is this: is that we're very valuable to college football and we're very valuable to the ACC outside of football. So they're balking at this bowl to punish ESPN. They're saying they're not playing in a bowl game because ESPN has the college football playoff announcement and the college football playoff. I don't know if they have every game, but they have the semifinals and the finals. And they have a bunch of bowl games, and I guess Notre Dame is financially punishing them. Here's what, besides the arrogance, here's what bothers me, is that what did you want the ACC to do? So their problem is that the ACC pushed Miami, who's an ACC team, to make the college football playoff. You don't play football for them. So what are they supposed to do? Just ignore their own teams and just let you in? First of all, they have some – it's just – I get it. There's a lot of money. I get it. There's all this stuff. But you're throwing away – it's beyond professional sports in terms of how much money's influencing the outcome of these playoffs. At least in the NFL, in the NBA, in the NHL, those three, not baseball. Mm-hmm. But it never has anything been so transparent as you make the playoff based on how much money you can bring in. So the question is, then why watch it? Okay? You have a whole season before the 12-team playoff. Make it a 20-team playoff. It doesn't matter. You need every one of these Power 5 schools, certainly, to at least feel like there's a shot. If Notre Dame is going to go, and by the way, if they're in the top 12 or something, they're guaranteed a spot next year.
That's right.
So you're straight up saying we make the college football a lot of money. We should get preferential treatment, which there's no argument makes this all about money. It's all about money, Fred. Yeah, but not this transparently, and this it's not a competitive thing anymore. Whether or not you think Notre Dame should have made it, the argument they're making really by balking at this bowl and bitching at the ACC, because the threat against the ACC is we play other sports in your conference. And if I'm the ACC, I'm saying, yeah, and we make money in one of those.
Right.
And that's basketball, and we don't need you because you're not even a conversation in that sport. So we don't need you for that. And regardless if they bring in a little bit of money, I think Duke and North Carolina and those teams are fairly safe without Notre Dame being
basketball,
in there.
Yeah.
Right. And Notre Dame baseball even isn't a big powerhouse in that conference. So, in baseball, I don't think makes very much money. It makes money, but it's we're talking about basketball. You're saying that we make so much money, we should get preferential treatment, which is not competitive. It's not based on what happens on the field. They lost 2 games. It's not a lot of people that know more than me think they should be in it. Fine, but they're not. And it wasn't like a home run, right? They're not like undefeated.
No, they lost 2 games, and one of them, by the way, was to Miami.
Yeah, of course.
Well, no, that's the thing is there was a head-to-head, which no one cares about because it was early in the season, which drives me crazy. And also, if you're not in a conference and not going to play in a conference championship game, I'm not convinced that Alabama should be punished for getting killed by Georgia because they had to play in that game.
That's the main takeaway for me at the end because I see both sides of it. Certainly, I really do. And Notre Dame not wanting to play in a bowl, fine. Who cares? That that part.
Well, I care because you're punishing the people financially by swinging it around and going, if you screw with us, you're going to lose money, and that's saying you better put us in the playoff or it's going to cost you money, which isn't how they're supposed to select the teams. They're not. Notre Dame is telling you the magic trick, right? They're Penn and Tellering it. They're showing you how they do the trick, and they shouldn't at least do that. They should show some restraint.
Yeah, instead of just coming out and saying it's all about the money, try and make some other, I guess, argument to the contrary.
Go. Here is why we should be in the playoff based on performance, not. We make you a lot of money, and I'm very upset at you. And you ran a propaganda campaign against us. Yeah, they wanted Miami to make it. They're the ACC. That makes sense to me. Yeah. And by the way, that shouldn't affect anything anyway. But if I'm trying to make a case for my conference, the ACC makes money if Miami makes that. But at least that's understandable, and that's not putting pressure on them, right? Like Miami,
I don't see it. No, I don't see as pressure on them. And that when it comes down to me, the whole idea of them not being in a conference and not wanting to be in the conference. If you join the conference,
which is money, by the way, which is a money thing,
right?
So they can get the NBC contract and all those things. It's all money. And I get that it's big business, and I get college football is the second biggest sport in this country, but the professional sports outside of baseball, and baseball's at least settled on the field. It's got a ton of problems, which we'll get into later. Scooble's going to the Dodgers, and it's just weird. It's not great, but at least they still got to play the games, and whoever wins, wins. College football, they're saying it doesn't matter. If all things are even, go with the money.
We got a hint of that. Remember Florida State lost their quarterback, and they didn't make the tournament because they lost their quarterback.
Yeah, they were undefeated, and they didn't make
didn't make it because they didn't have their top quarterback.
Right.
And no one wanted to watch Florida State without that guy.
Right.
So we saw hints of it. Also, I know you went by it because it's an obvious, but the arrogance bothers me. Bothers me a lot. Oh, you done permanent damage. Oh, it's terrible.
But everyone's saying that, and it kind of just misses the point, in my opinion, of that you're making this purely financial, which isn't competitive, and it isn't. I'm not a huge college football fan, and it makes me question why would I even watch it if it's just the teams that make the most money, and if it all comes down to it, and two teams have similar credentials, that you're going to go with the team that makes the most money. What's the point? It's not interesting. Like, say James Madison, by some ungodly miracle, where they play Oregon, like they beat Oregon. That's the best thing that could ever happen to the. That really is. That's the best thing that could happen for the college football playoff early. And so you want that, and you're arguing against that. So whatever. It's not anyone's fault that Duke beat Virginia and that North Carolina let that quarterback go to Virginia and everything else. It's just very unseemly. It makes me not want to care about that sport at all. Caller number 10, which they can't afford. I mean, they need me. Caller number 10 in the contest line, 617-931-0985, will win a $100 Visa gift card from Valvoline Instant Oil Change. This holiday season, Valvoline Instant Oil Change is giving you the gift of travel so you can get to all your holiday events. I apologize. I had a burrito last night, and I am on fire today. All of your holiday events without worrying about the price of gas. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sport. The Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins beat the Blues in St. Louis last night, and it was an evening for the bottom six forwards to step forward.
Hampus over to Pete. Shot. Hit the post on the short side.
Is that 3 today?
Here's a drive by Minton. He scores! Fraser Minton put everything he had into that one-timer from between the circles.
That is Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Fraser Minton scored twice in a 5-2 victory. David Pastrnak returned to the lineup. He had 3 assists, and that makes 3 straight wins for the Bruins. They'll continue their 3-game road trip in Winnipeg tomorrow night. Patriots play Buffalo and Foxborough on Sunday. The players had yesterday off. They're back out of practice today. The Indianapolis Colts signed 44-year-old retired quarterback Phillip Rivers to their practice squad. Red Sox made a small trade. They sent Vaughn Grissom to the Angels for minor league outfielder Isaiah Jackson. He was drafted last summer. At the Major League Baseball winter meetings, Philadelphia has re-signed Kyle Schwarber. It's a 5-year, $150 million contract. Also, the Dodgers have signed Mets free agent closer Edwin Diaz to a 3-year, $69 million deal. And Detroit has re-signed closer Cal Finnegan to a 2-year contract. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Best Ford in Nashua. Looking for great deals on a new Ford? Go to the Best first. Best Ford in Nashua. Head to bestford.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Here's Pastrnak, high slot. Right circle to Zacha. Sends one across. McAvoy shot, and he scores!
The Bruins play here. Half toucher.
Dressed like a gorilla.
Half Hardy.
A big, beautiful ball of flame.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider. Recognizing everything in one night, not being so limited to TV or theater or movies, or music. They're able to span all genre to honor those who have so valiantly entertained us. Oftentimes, things that we've never seen, nor carry any kind of weight or artistic reverence or relevancy. They are all so honored, and I want to see Ben Stiller give away more awards. That is what I like. I like an award that I'm not sure if I was in Hollywood I'd necessarily care about winning. As a consumer, that's what I want to see.
You just want to see somebody who you know is kind of like matured in his role as becoming one of the elder statesmen. George Clooney presenting an award, I think I would also tune in for.
Yeah, a real honorable mention award when you don't get a Oscar, and Emmy, or Grammy, and even the Grammys are terrible. So
I get angry when I watch the Grammys. I always say I'm not going to watch them. I'm like, well, I dig music. I like people who are good at music. So I, just like Pat McAfee, I journal about my own musings and things like that. So I want to see what's going on in the music industry. And I turn on the Grammys, and outside of the opening, once they get into some of the acts and some of the people that are performing, I just get angry at myself because I don't know. I don't know who anyone is.
And this
anymore.
is not a new phenomenon in like, oh, you're old. And I'm sure no one's really thinking that because no one out there cares about the Grammys. This goes back to our childhoods. Like the original rap award winner was the Fresh Prince. The original heavy metal winner, when that category was new, was Jethro Tull.
Yeah, well, that was the Crest of a Knave album, and that deserved recognition.
And Jethro Tull not in like 1972, Jethro Tull in like 1989 against Metallica.
Yeah.
So
that was an upset. I'll grant you that.
Well, I'd also question, and look, we'll let Eddie Trunk handle these things, even though I'm sure he's a fan of both bands. Is categorizing either of those bands necessarily as heavy metal at that point in their careers? Jethro Tull ever, Metallica, that couldn't have been like Master of Puppets or Ride the Lightning. That had to be that might have been Injustice for All, which I would say is a heavy metal album. But once you're past that,
yeah,
there was, unless we're talking about Load and Reload, which were, of course, in Hardy's opinion, the height of Metallica.
I never said the height, but I do like Fuel. I think it's a good song.
Yeah.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
I thought it was a little bit of a ripoff of Kickstart My Heart, by Motley Crue because Kickstart My Heart was the first song to express when they get high on speed. Top Fuel funny cars are the drug for them.
Yeah.
I thought Fuel was kind of redundant, but maybe it needed to be said.
Again.
Again.
Well, the Golden Globes have been announced, and one of the categories this year is for Best Podcast.
Which is good because radio, when it was the only audio medium, was constantly being rewarded by the Golden Globes.
Golden Globes and the Oscars.
And in fairness, there were no stars in radio. I mean, Howard Stern never was on top of the tongues of people. Even like the Don Imuses and Rush Limbaughs of the world were never of any importance. Only since the advent of podcasting has audio. And even podcasting would make sense to me because there are, again, I will explain. Podcasts are a unique art form or way of expressing. They are when done in a way that's unique to podcasts. Podcasts can tell a story in a way that radio can't. Because they're taped and researched, and you can put interviews and tell a linear story, and throw in sound effects and voiceovers.
I just listened to one called Adrift. Okay, this
about funny cars.
No, no, about pro drifters like Hulk Hogan's son.
Yeah,
you wanted to be a pro drifter
until he killed the guy.
Well, that was unfortunate, but it's not for the faint of heart. Adrift tells the story of this family from England who sells their farm because they're going to sail around the world. The dad always hated farming, and he's like, no, I used to be a sailor, and this family, we're going to be sailors, and we're going to go sail around the world, and there's some global prize. This was in the early 70s. This is what we're going to do. And the story is told using voice actors and sound effects, and it's a true story of this family who, spoiler alert, gets attacked by a pod of killer whales out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and they remain adrift for days and days and weeks, and who lives and who dies and all that stuff. And I couldn't wait to get to the next one. Now that, to me, is a podcast worthy of my time.
There have been some that have blown me away because you're like, I can't believe. I'll get back to the one that the listener suggested about Once a Time in Bennington College or the Once a Time in the Valley, where this Lily Analik does the story and finds people that these, like, no one's going to care, but like Less Than Zero, Bret Easton Ellis came out in the 80s about his time in the early 80s at this high school, small high school in Los Angeles, and she finds the people that the characters are based on and interviews them.
Amazing.
And they're like talking about, it's like crazy that
they put
she
some
found
work
these people.
into it, some production into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would imagine that took her 5 years.
Yeah.
I think it took longer. These are achievements. But again, I don't know why some dickhead comedian sitting around doing an interview show is somehow any better than anything else. And some of those are fine, but they're not. Like, I don't get why Howard Stern, when he had, let's say he had 15 million listeners. When he has 15 million listeners, which is not 15 million downloads, these are 15 million people actively listening.
Yeah.
This isn't some weird metric that I don't believe. Like, why that was not worthy of any kind of honor, but this is.
Well, the nominees have been announced, and what's most notable are the ones that were shut out. So first, I'll tell you who the best podcasts are. They're vying for the best Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard.
Well, he is married to a B-list celebrity, which
Kristen
gets
Bell, right?
Yeah, which gets him, and she's very flat-chested. But that gets him, and Dax Shepard likes to talk about how he likes to fight, and I would like to see that. That seems like someone who's been in a little bit of a bubble. Now, he is a recovered addict.
He should go to Nantucket next year for the stroll.
Oh, it's a good point.
You can throw down.
I always find it interesting when people talk of the fights they've been in, and I go, okay, fights don't, like, even if you win, there's a good chance a lot of damage been done to you.
No one ever wins a fight.
Well, you can. People who beat me up have won fights. I'll tell you that. But
Dalton would argue otherwise.
I know. Thank you, Hardy.
I can tell you this is that when I got my face x-rayed for this tooth getting out, they have this new technology where I saw everything that was going on in my face from when I got my ass kicked that time.
Yeah.
It's a whole operation in there.
Call Her Daddy has been nominated.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good Hang with Amy Poehler, which I see 5-second clips of.
Well, she had the Aubrey Plaza thing where she
Very
talked
good
about
interview.
her husband committing suicide.
The Mel Robbins podcast.
Right, which is, of course, all about Spaceballs, and I already know about that. Can we finally talk about the cowboy one with the farting and the chili, Blazing Saddles?
Smartless.
I hate it so much. I hate Smartless so much. So much.
I think I like Jason Bateman. And
everyone likes Jason Bateman because he was on Silver Spoons. But you have the guy from Silver Spoons, the guy that used to be married to Amy Poehler, and the gay fella from Will and Grace, and that is a tour de force, which the same formula, in my understanding, for every show in its existence. And it's not that they were nominated for a Golden Globe. I don't care. It's that someone handed them tens of millions of dollars.
Sean Hayes, who I think I like. Will Arnett, who I do not like because he was a dick to Robbie Roadsteamer when Roadsteamer went on the Gong Show. So I'm out on Will Arnett and his super deep voice and his Reese's commercials.
We all love the gay guy for Will and Grace because that meant a lot to us, Will and Grace. He was the actual gay guy.
I'm talking about in the context of that show, but you're right.
I've never heard that show, and I never will, because I don't want to hear three guys I don't care about who have no point of view or perspective ass grab with each other and some other famous person.
And then there's three more. Up First with NPR.
I'm sure that's fine because NPR has a point of view that needs to be heard in cabs.
The Dude and Bird podcast, which I have not heard, but I hear it's very.
Oh, that's in memoriam because that's no longer a podcast.
Is it?
That was a tour de force, my friend. Even the commercial reads were fantastic.
They're in the legacy category.
The best thing about if you don't know Bird, who's a big part of the show, him and this guy Dude had a podcast that was awful. Dude's a college professor now.
Yep.
Not the phrase "dude" is a college professor. The guy referring to himself as Dude that was good enough friends to do a podcast with Bird. Both of them are in education now. One at the collegiate level.
True.
Bird is and I'm sure, in all seriousness, if my kid had Bird as like a non-academic teacher, I think it would be great. I think that he would be fantastic at it. I'm not dissing on Bird, but it is funny that we used to make fun of that for how stupid it was. And now they're both in education, one at the college level.
And then, of course, the Lou Holtz podcast has been nominated.
Well, that again is
China, Russia, Iran, and many more.
If you're going to put those commies for NPR on, you got to get a voice of the regular man, which is
a Nobel Prize nominee.
Which Lou Holtz in an audio thing. Newsflash. He's got a speech impediment.
We've had over 80 million hits on it.
Yeah, Lou Holtz, if you don't know, is unironically and with all belief in the world. If you want to know something about the metrics and way that they do ratings for podcasts, Lou Holtz was on the air under the impression 80 million people listen to his podcast.
We've had over 80 million hits on it.
How many people live in the United States? I think we did this exercise.
Like 400 million.
So 80 million out of the 400 million people in the United States listen to the Lou Holtz podcast.
One in every 5 Americans.
You played for the University of Kentucky?
Coach Cal.
I mean,
yeah.
Just play all the. Here's podcasts. Play it. Play them. Play as many as you got. This is what your 80 million people are listening to this, ladies and gentlemen.
You can actually refold that nuclear waste back into its natural state, just with pressure.
Okay, that's Terrence Howard.
Refold it back.
But that's on a podcast. I mean, we don't get Terrence Howard unless he's
not nominated?
out. So here's the real story about the podcast thing. Those who were left out, and Joe Rogan left out of the
I'm sure he took that
of the nominees.
I don't
all
think
of
he
the
cares.
big network 2020, 48 Hours, Dateline. They've all done versions of their shows on podcasts. Left out, Pardon My Take. All the crime shows that people love, the murder ones. Crime Junkie, Morbid, Dark and Mysterious, all shut out. Theo
that's
Vaughn.
the Alcohol podcast. Dark and Mysterious.
Theo Vaughn's podcast, shut out. So
that's probably best for Theo Vaughn. I don't know if Theo Vaughn likes what's going on so much.
Whoa, Dad.
And Theo Vaughn seems to have. The government was not overly nice to Theo Vaughn. They put him in a position that's really unfair. I actually feel really bad for Theo Vaughn. You know, he gets asked to have these politicians on. He seems like a good guy. He's funny on podcasts. He's a terrible stand-up. And, you know, I'm being serious. And he has, like, these guys on, and it's almost like they're, like, using him and taking advantage. And the next thing he knows, he wants to be, like, tell penis jokes. And he wants to, you know, screw around and cry about, like, having a coke problem, which is compelling. I'm not being sarcastic. And then he has these politicians on, and I guess he figures, like, I'll have him on, like, you know, whatever. And he does softball interviews because he's not a politician. He's not a news guy. And the next thing they know, they're using him in an ICE video and, like, a pro-ICE video. And then everyone wants, you know, I can only imagine the pushback from that. I mean, You say something about the Patriots and people want to kill you. I can only imagine if they're actively using you in a propaganda video for ICE without your consent.
Everyone's all pissed at him and going after me. He's like, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
And I
didn't want to do this.
There's a difference between online bullying and that. Like, once you get caught up in that whole, like, people think that you're, like, affecting their lives. When you have these politicians on and you become part of that conversation, people think that you are actively ruining their lives. Like, you are responsible that this is happening to me. For, like, a Howard Stern, you offended me and I don't like that, but you're not, like, affecting my life. You're not actively making my life worse. And that's the position you get in when you start wading into those waters, which I don't believe was Theo Vaughn's intention. I think he thought innocently that this was all fine, and he got wrapped up in a game that's far larger than himself, and he's breaking down. And I actually feel really bad for him. And
also, very quickly, the other ones that were left out were the Bill Simmons podcast, the Daily from the New York Times, which is an upset, and then politically, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, shut out. So,
Bill Simmons should get more credit because Bill Simmons kind of helped create this whole thing. Really, him and Marin deserve the most
content.
And you know why Joe Rogan says that he does his podcast is Cumia, Anthony Cumia from Opie and Anthony. When he started that compound, he saw that and he said, you can have a business with no corporate overlord. And then he signs with Spotify, but he's best friends with the guy, so I guess it's okay. Rogan's circle now is like Peter Thiel, and he's running with these tech billionaires. Everything is so strange.
Tech billionaires and Terrence Howard.
Hail Atlantis.
We will use this technology and become the new Atlanteans. The future.
What if I told you 20 years ago, see that guy who's hosting Fear Factor, the guy that used to be on news radio?
Yeah.
He's going to be super powerful. He's going to be rubbing elbows with the president and these tech billionaires. We live in a strange time. All right. The winter meetings are going on, and actually a lot of interesting things outside of the Red Sox are happening. I guess, unfortunately, if you're a Red Sox fan, you would like to be involved in some of these things. But Tim Healy, Healy, right, is going to be joining us. He is down there. He's kind enough to talk to us from Orlando, where I matriculated for 4 years at Rollins College. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher.
All right, here we go, third take. And this is rigor mortis. And
We are Toucher and Hardy. I should have probably been teasing this earlier. We have tickets for that game on Sunday. At the end of this segment, for a chance to win, you'll have a chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Patriots take on Buffalo Sunday at Gillette, which is the biggest game in years. And that is a big, big game for obvious reasons. And we will give away tickets. And then we have tickets again to give away coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. I can tell you exactly when it will be, or approximately when, or approximately around 9:40. We'll be doing that. So listen up for those tickets. And at the end of this segment, a pair of tickets. And at worst, you could sell them, I would assume, for a great deal of money. If I was going to any game over the last handful of years, this is the game I would certainly go to. A lot on the line. I think a lot on the line, perceptually, in that game. You cement yourself as the best team, maybe in football.
And then you
with a
stab
win.
those Buffalo Bills fans in the heart if you win this one.
I don't know how you can hate Bills fans.
No, you can hate Bills fans, but as we said yesterday with Andrew Callahan, I mean, the window's open. This is it for Buffalo. This is a huge game
We
for
have
them.
a guest on the line, but when you saw the Buffalo in the snow, they have an old school fan base that's still drunk. Like everyone's still like in 2025, you don't get that very often anymore. Like just openly drunk and taking pills.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone they go to in the crowd is wasted. They got 17 beers.
Of course.
They got a handful of Vicodins. They're all having a good time. It's just they go to that game to get hammered and to misbehave, maybe get arrested, and that doesn't happen anywhere else now that San Diego's gone. When they just would shoot each other. Tim Healy is the Red Sox beat writer for the Boston Globe. He's in Orlando, where I have lived, and that's no picnic. Very dangerous, especially International Boulevard, where they might be. Tim Healy, hello. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Hello to you guys. Thank you for having me.
Okay. So first of all, let's go back in time a little bit. We never talked to you, I don't think, about this. The Sonny Gray deal. What do you think of Sonny Gray?
He's good. He's a good starting pitcher. Is he the number 2, or better yet, the number 1B starting pitcher behind Garrett Crochet? No. He would be an underwhelming answer if he indeed is that at opening day or after the trade deadline. So I'm staying open-minded to the Red Sox making another starting pitching addition there, maybe move around some of the other guys. So Sonny Gray is good. He's a good pitcher. I have no interest in arguing that, but I just think if he is the number 2, just sort of an underwhelming answer on that.
See, I disagree. I think that he's a perfectly good starting number 2 pitcher. I think he'll pitch. I think he'll be healthy. The way he pitches is very professional. You know, he don't throw hard. No one pushed back, which I enjoy. But when I saw him pitching the final game, his final start of spring training, he was throwing in the high 80s. But that I like that because it shows he's a technician. I think that he's going to pitch in the playoffs. He will be healthy, and he's every bit as capable as anyone besides a complete stud to get you a victory in the playoffs. I don't mind that move at all. I think they gave up a lot for him, but but if you're looking to win now, I like that Sonny Gray move, but that's me. All right, anyway.
I agree.
Go ahead.
I agree with basically everything you said, except the evaluation. But what does that matter?
If
really
they got Ryan from Minnesota, obviously that's a lot better, right? Like like if they got Skubal, which I want to talk about in a second, obviously that's great. And you have two of the best pitchers in baseball. You look like you'll be a juggernaut. But in the world of reality, where you're not the Dodgers, I think Sonny Gray is. Look, I don't think it's a home run, but I think people were way too hard on that deal. I think that you got a guy that was an opening day starter and a good pitcher, and he's not your opening day starter. And for that, and if I'm Sonny Gray, I'd want to be the number 2 starter. I don't think he wants to be the number 3 starter, which is good. But anyway, all right. So you're down there in Orlando, and I do want to get to this. There's reporting that the Skubal deal is done.
Yeah, Tim, do you know of a guy named David Pingalore from KTLA in Los Angeles?
Obviously you do.
Well, the reason I bring this up is he's the only one reporting this.
You've had dinner with him, correct?
So I did not know him until I was doing a little Twitter scrolling before falling asleep last night and thought, what is going on here?
Yeah,
it's great. It's great for baseball. Okay, does that seem like it's going to happen? So the idea, I don't know what the return would be. It would have to be insanity. But and I don't blame the Tigers for dealing him. I'm not paying Skubal that much money. He's great, but I'm not paying a starting pitcher that much money for that long. First of all, do you agree with that, Tim? How much money would you give a starter in the major leagues that you know he's not going to be around the whole contract? He might be around, but he's not pitching every year. How do you feel about that?
If I were the Red Sox and I had my ace in his prime on a pretty reasonable contract, I would not sign Skubal for $350 or $400 million or whatever it's going to be around this time next year. So if I'm the Red Sox, I would not do that. If I was some other desperate team that didn't have an ace that could spend money, I would at least consider it. But you do have to go into it thinking exactly as you said, the back end is going to be ugly, and there might be a year or two in there where he's not pitching much or at all. That's just part of the deal now in baseball, unfortunately. So you have to go into it with eyes wide open.
I'll just give you. Do you think the Garrett Cole deal was a good deal for the Yankees?
That's a great question because that's the exact comp, set a record when he signed it. I think it what has so far been a good deal. And the problem with these contracts so often is the back end of it. And when teams get into such a contract, they swallow their pride, swallow their dollars, and know that the last few years.
Well, he didn't pitch last year, though. Like Cole,
no, he didn't. No, but he's been great.
Yeah, but
he was great until he blew out.
Yeah, but Skubal will be great. Will be great, and then he'll miss a year, and then he might be really good again. And then, like you said, then the back end. It's like it's just that you're giving a guy a contract where you know he's going to miss a year of the prime of it. Like that's it. There's no way you can pitch at the major league level, throw that hard, and throw that many pitches without getting hurt. Like you just are. Unless you're Nolan Ryan or something, or Roger Clemens, like you're just some freak. And maybe Crochet. I know he falls apart at the end of the season, but he's a moose. But what does that leave open? So now if you're the Red Sox, you go offense here. You pivot offense, right? Or what do you do?
Well, acquiring hitters right now is definitely the priority for the Red Sox. They're in good enough shape pitching-wise that if and when another starting pitcher comes, they can be opportunistic and get to that if an opportunity presents itself. For now, the focus is on the offense, the lineup, and I can't tell you how close they are to actually adding somebody, but they're talking about virtually every option there is, from Alex Bregman and Pete Alonso, or potentially both, to the trade market of Ketel Marte, Brandon Donovan, Corey Seager, even has come up in their talks. So they're canvassing a wide search, suffice to say. And it's kind of funny because this week's the winter meetings, everybody's here. There's a lot of talk about what the Red Sox could do or might do or have considered doing, but they haven't actually done anything yet on the hitting front. So it's still a wait and see situation ultimately.
Let's get into Alonso. Do you want him?
I think he would be a perfect fit for this roster. I would not give him the 6 or 7 years that he's looking for, but I would give him, for sure 3, definitely 4, maybe even 5 if that's what it took.
He's so annoying.
But
he's so annoying.
He's a right-handed bat, and I know home runs and RBIs aren't the sexiest stats for front office these days, but he's good for 35 to 40 home runs, 100-plus RBIs. He's going to be, or would be, that bat in the middle of the lineup that Craig Breslow talks about. You have to pitch around him, and that impacts all the other hitters around him. So he's a good fit. I don't think the Red Sox prefer him in a vacuum over Alex Bregman.
Yeah, let's get into Bregman because Bregman's interesting to me because by all accounts he was so important in the clubhouse, which I'm not dismissing. I think that that's great, and he was obviously, I think, based on the performance of the team, he was instrumental in that even behind the scenes. But that's not a bat that I am overly comfortable with the performance I'm going to get as this contract goes on, even starting kind of right away. How do you weigh those two things? Importance to the team based on necessarily living up to the contract in terms of performance?
So that is part of what Craig Breslow and company are sorting through right now. What sort of deal, or really what length of deal, is Alex Bregman, Pete Alonso, anybody worth? And part of that depends on their market. I don't know exactly who else is super in on Alex Bregman right now. The Tigers sound like they're not.
Tigers want a shortstop, it sounds like. They're pivoting to shortstop. That's what I've heard. Okay, but I don't know. Go ahead.
Maybe the Cubs, but they're in a position of power there because they're not desperate for a third baseman. So how will Alex Bregman's next contract age? Depends on how long it is, and how long it is depends on how many teams want him. And the number does not seem super high right now. So if the Red Sox do want him back, which they do, he is their top priority, it seems, on the hitter front, then they don't need to overextend themselves and give him 5 or 6 years if nobody else is.
Tim, Craig Breslow has talked a great game ever since he's gotten the job. I mean, and he said it again yesterday. He's going to be aggressive and decisive, but based on the Red Sox spending habits over the last 5 or 6 years and his performance at the trade deadline last year while talking a big game, should Red Sox fans believe him this time around?
I think, to me, it's not about believing or not believing. I would just wait and see what happens. See where the payroll ends up. And they're going past the first luxury tax threshold, and that's a given at this point. The big question is if they will go past the second threshold, which comes with no additional penalties other than a slightly higher tax on every dollar over the second threshold. So really, I mean, who am I to spend somebody else's money? I am not a millionaire, not a billionaire, but to me, the luxury tax issue is just money.
No, but that's important that there's no additional penalties, because that's what I think the first pushback was, and that was that was at least the Red Sox answer to everyone who would just say, just spend the money. You've got the money. They said, no, it's not just about the money. There's all this other stuff that you can incur, but that second threshold, that doesn't apply.
Yeah, and if you get super high, like into Dodgers Mets territory, it starts to impact your draft position and your international money and that stuff. Okay, I get if you want to keep building from within, of course, and all that good stuff. But the second threshold, if you're going past the first, go past the second. That's what I think. But we'll see how comfortable they are. I do think there's a chance, but as I understand it, it would take some creative accounting, quote unquote, as far as, deferrals and buyouts and how that AAV sorts out on any medium to long-term deal.
All right. Well, Tim Healy, we always love having you on. You're great, and appreciate you getting up early. We appreciate everything. Have a good time out there in Orlando.
Excellent. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, appreciate it. By the way, I would not – you're going to dismiss Brendan Donovan. I think you'd really like him if he was on this team. All right, caller number – and I think he would lead to wins. Caller number 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985. We'll score a pair of tickets to see the Patriots take on the Bills Sunday at Gillette Stadium. That's a great prize. If you don't win now, we'll have more coming up around 9:40 this morning. And I would want to go to that game, as a matter of fact. I would like to go to that game. I'd probably, but what are you going to do?
Why don't you go?
How? I already cashed my lottery ticket for that big Jet game. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Fraser Minton and Mark Kastelik scored 2 goals apiece, and David Pastrnak got 3 assists in his return to the lineup. Bruins won their 3rd in a row, 5-2 in St. Louis last night. They're in Winnipeg tomorrow night. Patriots players will be back at practice this afternoon.
Ryan Beaton is sick today. You probably can hear it in the show. This is the first morning I've felt awake in 2 weeks. I don't know what's going on. It's this whoop I'm wearing. It's got me.
When'd you go to bed last night?
9:30, but that's a conversation. I mean, that's
going to bed and going to sleep.
Me and Joan Didion. What's that for?
You just mentioned the whoop, so I want to throw a whoop in.
Oh, okay. Well, George fills in for George. Get on a microphone with headphones. George, who is very confusing. He's got this people's champ persona that he does. Do you have your belt with you today, George?
You will be so delighted that I did not bring my belt.
What happened?
I feel like I'm almost a gift to your family.
Yes.
That you've now stopped carrying that thing around.
Yes.
But George is confusing. I like George. George, you know I like you, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. But I do find you confusing. Blind Scott, hi, Blind Scott.
Oh, hey, yeah, I like George, too. We're friends.
Okay, are you friends with Blind Scott, George? You seem to have some things in common.
I have a good rapport with the callers who call in.
Do you like George better than Nick?
No, I like Nick better because he has better star power. George is only going to take me to certain heights. Like, I think I've already passed that threshold.
George, has he passed you? George, just keep your mic on, dude. I don't need you to keep
George hung up on me. He did a hard hang-up on me on the weekend show and then sent me to the YouTube chat, which I never posted in, and told me to watch YouTube, and wouldn't take my call. I had to call back. And then
George, why would you not take Blind Scott's call?
Well, I hate to throw the talent under the bus, but the talent.
The talent under the bus, of course. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, the talent runs the program. They rejected
talent
the call.
under the bus.
Blind Scott,
you have to stay on topic. It's not the show.
Do you look upon people like George and Nick as only a means to further your career and your profile?
Well, Nick's like an advocate for people with disabilities. He's famous for he's counseling me. I've known Nick for 10 years, so we've been through a lot together. Nick wouldn't put me on the air for a long time, and I just accepted it. I've always been real nice to Nick, but Nick has gone out of his way to bring me. I think Nick is the reason why I get on the air, so I'll always be grateful for the Nick. I want to get him something for Christmas, I want to go to his house for Christmas,
Yeah. Well, his dad lives in the North End, but they're estranged. Do you want to, what would you get Nick for Christmas, Blind Scott?
I would give him cash, maybe a gift card. I was going to buy him some scratchies.
Aren't you on disability?
Yeah. I got workman's comp from going blind at work.
But you have cash to give away for the holidays. That seems interesting.
Well, no, I would just give cash because you don't give those gift cards are a scam. You know what I mean? You don't give those to people with disabilities because you can't figure out how to use them. They break. So if you show up with a gift card and you look like real crazy, they'll think you stole it, and it just never works out.
Blind Scott, I don't know if that's an issue for most people with disabilities, thinking that it's automatically a scam when you go to use one. Like, I don't think if someone in a wheelchair comes in, the guy at the 7-Eleven is going, I think you stole this. That might be
screwing them though. If you give them a gift card, they want cash. You know what I mean? Like they don't want.
That's not my concern. I mean, I don't care what the corporation wants.
How does the card break, Scott?
It just doesn't work. No, you try to use it. So here's what happens: you're at the store and you're blind. You're trying to use your debit card. A homeless person comes to help you, and then the realtor person thinks that you're with that person. You know what I mean?
It's as tale as old as time.
Yeah, and then they don't tell you the price of things. Everything.
Well,
goes
that's
bad
more just blind.
Yeah, but something could cost a lot of money, and then your card gets declined. It doesn't work. You don't have enough money. Because people get you stuff, so you send people out to get you items. You don't even know what you're getting. Like this guy in the grocery store the other day, I had chips and salsa. The guy got me Doritos to dip my salsa in, and I said to him, "I know you're lying," and he giggled at me like he was. Yeah, he's playing a joke.
It's a hate crime. All right. Well, Blind Scott, you like fake Blind Scott, right?
Yeah, it's my favorite thing ever, fake Blind Scott, because he does all the work for me, and he's really good. And my friends, we all listen to it, and it makes me more credible. Like there's an impersonator. I think he's great.
These are all true. Well, fake Blind Scott has done some Christmas carols for us, and we're going to play them next.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I really appreciate it. It's like doing heroin listening to this stuff. Like,
yeah, well, that's how we
do that.
advertise it. It is like an opiate for the soul.
It's an alternative. Like, it hits my cells. Like, I would get on the number 9 bus now and just ride all through town and feel so high off of it.
I think people are going to get the fake Blind Scott thing now because you've just been the real Blind Scott, and I think that does it. Is there anything you'd like to say to the People's Champ George before we let you go?
Oh, yeah, I do appreciate George. I think he's real talented. I think he could do his
let's not
own...
go crazy. All right.
Oh, he didn't even get a chance.
Well, he got a chance to say quite a bit.
To say his thing. You say, do you want to say anything to George?
Well,
and then he says he's very talented, and you hung up on him.
Well, he was making a lot of sense until he got to describing George.
You didn't understand the riding around on the number 9 bus feeling like you're high on opiates?
Yeah, I got all of it. I got the card breaking, people because he's blind, getting him Doritos and snickering in the back.
Like a lot of these scams, I'm not sure how the scam plays out for the scammer. If someone asks you to help them get them Doritos and dip, and they don't actually get you the right chips and dip, how is that person scamming you?
Well, you're making them milk because, you're getting them Doritos, which is,
what's the payoff for the scammer?
Well, I feel like there's a little bit of egg on our face. I know we have to break. Is that we have $100 Visa gift cards that we've been giving away, and now we've completely undermined it because if you win one of these, obviously when you go to use it, they're going to think you're with the homeless guy. Blind Scott's just told you everything wrong with the Visa gift cards we're giving away.
I think he's told you the pitfalls to avoid, so now it's safe to give it away.
Who can't relate to you go into a store, you go to use this Visa gift card, and then they're like, you're with the homeless guy. And then it's like every 70s sitcom, It's like every episode of Three's Company. Mr. Furley comes in, there's a homeless guy with a credit card.
You're describing everybody's Wednesday here, yeah.
Exactly. All right. We'll be back. Fake Blind Scott has been kind enough to get us into the holiday spirit. We'll have that for you in just a moment.
Stay tuned for...
you have any idea what's going on for Christmas. You can't be in any kind of spirit at all.
I listen to Robert Goulet, and I do some charitable giving, but
Well, you got to talk about it more.
I'm not in the position to where I go to an actual place to do it, and then can come on the air the next day and talk about it. So that I'm missing out on.
Yeah, so I don't know what part of that whole situation you don't understand. You what you do is you give money to someone, a charitable foundation, you get a tax credit. I believe it's a 503. Is that what the numerology is on that?
50C3. 503C.
503C, something like that.
Cars for Kids.
And what happens is that you give the money, and then you have a microphone in front of you. Then you tell everyone what you did.
And you make a point to say it was not an amount that could be folded up and taken out of your billfold. You actually wrote a check.
Mm-hmm. Well, you were pushing. I didn't come right out and say it. You were pushing me on. Why was it church?
That'd be worth checking the tape on to see if you offered that up. Or
I did offer it up, but it wasn't like I came on the air and said I was at church and gave them money. I said I was at church.
Actually, I think that's pretty accurate.
Oh, no. You should go back. Well, I don't know if it's worth going back and getting the tape, but if anyone would like to go through that exercise, we were well into the conversation by then. You were pushing back a lot. I was just going to throw it in there. I don't even know how it came up. But you kept pushing back and pushing back. And then so I had to self-aggrandize more and more and more. You put me into a corner. You pushed me into a corner. And you made me self-aggrandize.
I wouldn't have had to unless had you not come forth with the startling information that you attended church by yourself this past Sunday morning.
Did that bother you, Jonathan?
It wasn't startling. What
shocking.
It was surprising, not shocking.
But I've been to church before.
I wasn't physically taken aback by this information.
Well, no, but I've been by myself before. Like, I'm not going to ask a girl or a friend to go to church with me, and I'm not going to make my kids go. They're by birth Jewish. Now, do they go to synagogue? No. Have they ever been to one for a service? No. But nonetheless, have they been to church? Yes. Do I make them go on Christmas Eve? I do. Because for some reason, my mother called me after that conversation that we had, and she was like, she was so happy that I went to church. I don't know what the deal is, but was just overjoyed that I went to church. I don't know what she likes so much about it, but because she listens to the 9 o'clock hour. She watches it on YouTube.
Your mother and I are polar opposites. I don't like it one bit. I don't know what you're up to.
Well, you think that I'm having some kind of crisis that I felt like. That's really what the bottom line is.
No, I think you're after something.
Well, I'm obviously trying to get something.
Are you trying?
You think I'm in there praying? I'm praying. I'm praying for riches.
There's no way you're in there praying.
I prayed. I even know the ritual now. I know when they get into that. I'll mispronounce it, but the prayer.
Eucharist?
Yes, thank you. The Eucharist prayer. You know more than me.
I wouldn't have gotten that.
You know how I pronounce things wrong. I know the word in my head. I just can't pronounce it. Is that because I see it in writing. I got no idea how to pronounce it. I know that you get on your knees at that point. I know you pull it out with your there's plenty of room. You just pull it out with your foot, and then you get on your knees.
What?
Oh.
Yeah. You insinuated that there was someone there I had my eye on or something.
That was one possibility. I didn't think that was it. I think it's...
That in all seriousness,
I
was
fear
funny.
it's something more nefarious, like you're casing the church for...
Well, if anything, it's the
reason.
church with 25 people in it that would have riches behind every corner. But I will tell you, is that I did not find it charming that you thought I was after a church lady. That I was like, I want to get laid. This is the place to go. This
or
Episcopal
maybe
church.
My initial thought was that you attended with someone else.
Oh,
but then you said you went by yourself, which was even stranger.
Yeah, I could see that. Like a woman was like I want
we
you to
should
go
to
church.
church. And you're like, all right.
Oh, she'd have to be really hot. Oh. All right. So nonetheless,
That's what gets you in the Christmas spirit.
Well, it's part of it, but nonetheless, there are secular activities that are around the holiday, unfortunately. And Hardy, one of those is Fake Blind Scott.
Yes, and Fake Blind Scott is a treasure. the man behind Fake Blind Scott, he has written us emails over the course of the show here. Maybe my favorite one ever, when he wrote in to say that his wife had asked him, why do they measure things in terms of football fields? And he said, why not use golf holes? Isn't that a more relatable unit of measurement? I instantly became attracted to her for the first time in 2025 and ravaged her upon the chifferobe.
Well, but that is not him in the character of Fake Blind
No,
Scott.
but
That
I
is
just
the man
like
behind
this
the
guy.
curtain.
I like this guy.
I know you do. All right, but nonetheless,
his Fake
he's
Blind
helped
Scott
us.
is something to behold.
And we just heard the real Blind Scott, and he was
Right.
talking about how it's impossible to use gift cards because they think you're with the homeless guy, and they think you're scamming them, which is we've all experienced.
And initially, we thought it'd be nice if we had Fake Blind Scott do some Christmas carols for us. And after thinking about it for 10 seconds, I thought, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work. It would be so much easier to have Fake Blind Scott provide us with the same sense of joy and wonder. And then we still get, that Barton Fink feel that is coming from Blind Scott, but in this case, Fake Blind Scott.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm. Not like that night that John English invited me to his new restaurant to say thanks for my work as a food influencer, Yeah, I was able to get his rutabagas off Oxy, and I saved his beef Wellington's marriage. But Dan Roach was at their bar, and I spent all night trying to convince him that the 90-year-old one-legged lady in the eye patch was winking at him. But she was just blinking,
Okay.
There we go. Just kind of runs out of steam. But that is essentially what we would hope for from Blind Scott, and I don't know that he would be able to deliver to that degree.
He lost track of the song a little bit there.
A tiny bit.
You have to notice I have to turn off the mics because Bob Bronson is complaining about his job loudly in the hall.
I was wondering why all the lights went out. Okay.
Well, they did because
I got it now.
Bob is very vociferous.
Got a
and we have the
booming
door
voice,
open.
Bob. There he is.
Bob, you have a very booming voice.
Yes.
We're having a crisis, climate crisis in here.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, Bob's going to grace us with his presence.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
great.
Bob. It's the Bob. Bob.
Hey, fellas. Wow.
Hey, Bob.
6 years he finally invites me on the show.
Well, listen, you have a contract. Don't worry. You're so worried about your job. All right, here we go. Would you like?
You know something I don't, Freddie? It's all good.
This is every conversation with you. What I'm saying is you're very talented. You're under contract. Stop worrying so much.
All right, shouldn't worry at all. How about LBF? Should she worry?
No.
All right, fine.
That's a different subject.
I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know where
All right,
you're
it's
at.
fine.
You're the kingmaker.
What was the conversation about, by the way? Sorry to...
We're playing a Fake Blind Scott. I don't know if you're familiar with him. You're doing your own show.
Yeah,
but
does he call your show Fake Blind Scott?
He doesn't.
We're going to have him call in.
All right, we'll send him over.
Fake Blind Scott.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a Fake Blind Scott. He's doing Christmas carols. Thank you, Bobby. Here is Fake Blind Scott again, taking us into the holiday season.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Like that time I accidentally lit my fireplace on fire, right? Yeah, I was headed to Cafe Disgruntled Lasagna to meet my improv group, the Rubber Chicken Muchachos, But I bumped into Cornelius Redondo. He's the Bishop Laureate of the Eastern Bank on Hanover Street, right? He was giving away a gallon of stage 4 Bitcoin, and so I had to fill my bindle,
He loses the song at some point.
The Rubber Chicken Muchachos.
Well,
I haven't heard of them.
Did you doubt that Blind Scott has gone into a homeless improv group?
Poet laureate of the Eastern Bank on Hanover Street. What was that? I can't even keep track.
The North End is a real petri dish of many, many things.
A cacophony of chaos.
All right. And finally, Hardy, one more. This is to get you in the mood.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Oh, yeah, Fred, I noticed the tickets for Zoe's Christmas ball on your kitchen island somehow. I figured I could drive her and her date, you know? My girlfriend's sister has access to an aftermarket 2013 Isuzu Trooper on alternate Fridays. There's a Build-A-Bear at the North Shore Mall. Oh, and I left a candied gerbil in the house somewhere for Juice to find.
Blind Scott emails me about my daughter, and they're very nice. He's like, I was talking to my mom about how you're a good dad, and like no one thinks you are. And, like Blind Scott is, and I like the emails because he's always very complimentary. But he's like, this was yesterday. I was talking to my mom about it, you and Zoe, and I'm like, okay, very good, very good. Do you see Bob's face? Just the minute he got on the microphone.
Yeah.
And I said, you're under contract.
Oh, yeah.
And his face just drops. That was in real time, every conversation.
He didn't care for that. And there's LBF leaving the studio because she said she needs periodic breaks.
Yeah.
Well, Bob's very booming. His voice is
very. You got to step back a couple of times.
It's very booming. It's very booming. All right. But you saw his face fall.
Yes, I did see that.
The minute that I brought up
yeah,
any kind of contract situation, there he goes. Well, we have had so much Blind Scott today. It is almost too overwhelming. Chris Forsberg. You say, why is it 8 o'clock on a Wednesday and Chris Forsberg's not here? Well, it's the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us go to church, and some of us listen to Blind Scott, and some of us mock who do. Do you go to church on Christmas Eve, Hardy?
No.
You're all goyish now. Do you go to church there?
Midnight Mass, yes.
She makes you go to midnight mass?
With her family.
Jesus Christ, John. Oh, no, my bad.
Hey.
Oh, boy, now you done it.
Hey.
You really stepped in it twice, talking about Christmas and then taking the Lord's name.
And you combined them into a cacophony of trouble for me.
It's the service. It's like 7 p.m., not midnight mass. It's like 7 p.m. Christmas.
When was the last time you pushed back on any of this?
There was a time about 5 years ago, I told her I really have no interest in going, and that turned into a longer conversation that I'd prefer to avoid.
It's funny because my ex-wife, it goes to my parents' house for Christmas so everyone can spend Christmas together. She looks at my parents as like kind of like her parents, and they're fine with that, and they're good with that. And I go like I gotta go to church, and like my mom wants the kid, like she won't ask the kids to go, but I know she wants them there. Mm-hmm. Which, Stephanie's not wild about on the account she's Jewish, but she doesn't really care. And I'm like, you certainly don't have to go, but she doesn't want to be left out.
Okay.
So she goes, but like, I don't care if she, what the hell do I care if she goes or not? I mean, it doesn't mean anything to me, but in her desire to be left, but that's not your situation. You don't have a problem being left out. You're forced to go.
Pretty much.
Why does she care? And honestly, I'm not, your wife's lovely, but why does she care if you go?
It's more along the lines of having the family together on Christmas Eve, that type of thing.
Yeah, but it's an hour.
I know. Well, I know.
Like if you refuse to go, would there be like not like sitcom stuff? Like if you refuse to go, would there be like pushback?
Yeah, there probably would.
It's not
about just from her; it's for her family. It would be why
right? Because going to church is supposed to be about togetherness and fellowship, not showing up solo, single on a Sunday like some sociopath. How's that for some alliteration?
That's really impressive, right there.
I have nobody, and I need the fellowship of so many people at once.
Don't say that. You have so much in your life, as fake Blind Scott already told us. Just remember moments like this, Fred.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Oh, yeah, Fred, I noticed the tickets for Zoe's Christmas ball on your kitchen island somehow. I figured I could drive her and her date, My girlfriend's sister has access to an aftermarket 2013 Isuzu Trooper on alternate Fridays. There's a Build-A-Bear at the North Shore Mall. Oh, and I left a candied gerbil in the house somewhere for Juice to find.
Thank you, Blind Scott. All right, Chris Forsberg will be joining us in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, those scamps. They'll be right back.
Beach. Your favorite attractions are back, including the famous Blueberry Muffins, now open at Jordan's Furniture in Avon.
Should I start bringing muffins?
No.
Okay. Just making
No,
sure.
I don't think that's necessary.
Oh,
I'm not going
a dissenting opinion.
I'm not going to turn down a blueberry muffin.
Well, not certainly from Jordan's Furniture, but if
Hell
they're
no.
just some scratched mid-Massachusetts collection of ingredients, I don't need them cluttering up the studio. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. This is an exciting time for the Celtics.
It is.
John sent us someone's list about the top teams.
NBA.com's power rankings.
Ooh.
The Celtics are 6th in the NBA, according to them. And we were to talk about this.
Second team in the East.
Yeah.
They have the Pistons at 5
Okay,
and the Celtics at 6.
Knicks
The
are
Pistons teams that
7th.
the Celtics defeated. Okay.
Knicks are 7th. I mean, they are playing the best basketball, better basketball than a lot of teams.
And you got to go head-to-head at this time of the season
Right.
for what
Early
team
in
is
the
better.
year, what else matters?
Right. It's really head-to-head in terms of prognostic.
A to B,
prognostication,
B to C.
exactly. You got to go. I'm glad that they do it based on record, because if there was like a college football situation, imagine the controversy going in when you found that November win against the Pistons. But seriously, the Celtics, you cannot argue with the wins they've had and the streak they're on. I mean, they've beat good teams. I mean, they've positioned themselves as one of the best teams in the East.
Let me throw it at you. Are you surprised?
Absolutely.
Very.
Really?
Very surprised.
So, okay.
You lose your top 3 centers. You lose a great portion of your defense. Not good defensive players, great defensive players. And here they are playing excellent defense and getting production out of the center position.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Nemi's been great. And so, but I will say this. I thought that people overreacted a little bit to not so much of what they lost, because that was fair, but the fact that there was still talent here. And I think
they're playing. This rotation is completely different. You have to be fair. They've lost even outside of Tatum. I mean,
for sure. I
mean,
you don't
this
lose
is a
Kristaps
real
and Al and Luke and expect it to be like super
Holiday.
easy.
I mean, the talent drain over the last 18 months is nearly unprecedented. And here they are with the 3rd best record in the Eastern Conference.
And they could be even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for you to say, like, really, you're surprised?
No,
it's almost insulting to the guys who left.
I mean,
and maybe you don't care about them anymore because they're not wearing the green jersey
good point,
anymore.
Hardy. Yeah, explain yourself.
But holy crap! I mean, don't you feel like that's somehow insulting to Porzingis and Holiday
Horford,
and
100%.
Al Horford and to Jason Tatum, who's not playing right now?
Or is it a compliment to everyone who was left behind and the opportunity that has been grasped by all the other guys?
I see it more as an insult.
I mean, glass half full, glass half.
Did you see Jordan Walsh being this good?
No.
All right. And he's starting for you and is a very good
100%.
defensive player.
I'm just saying, I came in with expectations that were higher than most, and I still think they've left some wins out there. I'm not saying, like, this has been so refreshing. It's been so much fun to watch. It's so endearing when young players grasp the opportunity they've been given, and yet there's a whole nother level for this to go to. And I don't suspect that the offensive rating stuff is going to – I mean, the numbers – they're putting up video game numbers right now. That's not sustainable. But what they can do is just find a little bit more consistency. It's fascinating. December 15th is the unofficial start of trade season when a bunch of guys can be traded. I think Brad has some more unique decisions to make.
Yeah, but the trade deadline – if big things happen, is going to be a detriment to them because there are teams in front of them that can do a lot.
Move?
Well, the Pistons have an assload of cap space. I mean, the Pistons are in a position where they can pretty much do whatever they want. They have a lot of to my knowledge, they're good on picks, and they're not under any. The league is so confusing. Like, have you seen the Giannis? Like what Milwaukee could do if they don't trade Giannis, the picks, even that they have, they barely have any picks left. Right. But the picks that they do have, like they can't trade 2nd-round picks. There's so many obscure, impossible to understand rules in the NBA There really are. Like, you have to be a GM to get every kind of.
Sure.
Like, there's a rule if you can only trade so many apparently, that you can only trade so many second-round picks. That's what they're saying. I don't even know if you're aware of it.
I'm not sure that's true. I think Bradley Beal got traded for like 800.
No. But there's. Okay. But it's not as simple as that.
No, the aprons complicate.
No, not the apron. That there is a limit to, like, there is some.
There's a thing on
there's some situation, but I'm telling you that in the Shams had an article about the Giannis trade.
I will go back and read it.
Please, because I don't want to really get into it on the air.
I'm telling you, I'm confused.
I mean,
no, but it was something like they have these second-round picks, but they can only trade this many of them because of league rules.
I think the bottom line, with the new CBA, it is complicated to make trades, especially when you're a high-spending team, which is why the reason the Celtics did work so diligently this offseason to get below those numbers and free up some avenues for when they are ready to add again. And I think they are well positioned if they feel like they need one more center. If Brad just wants to get the money more right, they have avenues before the deadline. And I think they have more flexibility than most when, as you're saying, there are teams that are in cap hell that want to make a big splash but will either hinder themselves long term or do not have the necessary assets to go make moves.
I would be worried about the Pistons because the Pistons can pretty much do whatever they want.
I would be worried about the Pistons because Cade is really good and they have a young core that's going to stick around forever. And as you said, they could potentially add like one more piece.
Well, they could add anyone they want. I mean,
anyone's strong, but like they can add a impactful.
They could add Giannis if they wanted to.
They could. I think that you would gut some of your young talent a little bit
Chris,
more.
Chris, that's the point I'm making is that not that they do it or that they should do it, but they are. But we were talking about teams in the East that could do something at the trade deadline. The
do you
overall
think the Pistons
point
are going to do that?
No, but my overall point is you said at the trade deadline, look out for the Celtics, and what I'm saying is there are teams in the East that are in position that are good. That I don't know if the trade deadline in the scope of the NBA is going to be a positive for the Celtics. They could improve, but I think other teams are in a position to improve much more and are in a position where they would be more likely to, given that you have Tatum in 2 max contracts and you have Tatum coming back.
For sure. I think the Celtics are working at a different level of what you're trying to add a complementary piece. Someone, if you were to take a, let's say, bigger swing, which again isn't going to be to the Giannis level, you'd be looking to add someone that is part of your core longer term and fits into the same timeline. I don't know if that necessarily will materialize this trade deadline, but put it this way. I came into the year thinking, even if they're better than most people expect, the most likely scenario at the trade deadline was to move Anthony Simons, get below the tax, free up some potential avenues long term. Now I'm sitting here going, East sucks beyond like the Pistons. And I would like to see them lean into, hey, this team is better than people think. There's some really intriguing avenues, especially when Jason Tatum is back. Let's make the most of it.
Are you suffering FOMO with the NBA Cup going on now?
I did watch those games last night. I will, after how crazy it's been, I don't hate the downturn in the schedule. I hate that it feels like the Celtics got some serious momentum right now, and I wish they were playing.
They were in that group of death.
Well,
so
that is true.
Can't expect them to advance out of Group B.
You know what? When I turned it on, I forgot the courts would still be doing the NBA Cup court thing, and I was like, wish we would just just pump these games up another way. And it's just, I don't know if we need the courts anymore.
You don't like the whole green motif on the floor?
I did it first. I actually like the Celtics court. I don't know. At this stage. Maybe this round should just be in Vegas already and just have a neutral court and some fancy logos or something like that. Looking at the Raptors court was like,
we're only 2 years in and he's out on this.
I mean, in general, I like that they're trying to add reasons to be intrigued. You're in a position now where the Celtics are way more intriguing than the NBA Cup.
Okay, there's video of Tatum practicing I want to get to, but right before we go into the break, I'm going to read you what I was discussing, and I will just read it to you. This is about Giannis from Shams. Trying to build a contender around Giannis or whatever has left the Bucks with just one first-round pick eligible to be traded either in 2031 and 2032. The next drafts they can control in 0 second-round picks eligible to be dealt. And then listen to this. The Bucks' largest tradable contract outside of Giannis and Turner are Bobby Portis, Kuzma, and Ryan Rollins. AJ Green have been tremendous finds in the front office, though Green is not eligible to be traded during this season.
Yeah.
The Bucks could either use 2031 or 2032 first-round picks in a trade, but they've been reluctant over the past year to mortgage more of their future assets unless it is for a difference maker. So being a novice at this, I read from that they have 0 second-round picks eligible to be dealt. So it's not that they have 0 second-round picks. Right. They have 0 second-round picks for whatever reason are ineligible to be dealt.
I'll pull up, but I assume
this would be for off air because I really don't want to get this deep into it. I apologize for getting this deep into it anyway. I just wanted to tell you that I'm not insane, and I might be wrong, but this is just how I read it, and I don't pretend to be an expert on this, nor do I think anyone is.
Jason Tatum's return is way more intriguing than other people.
But I do like that Green is not eligible to be traded during the season. That there is a rule
that's weird. Usually, it's
that AJ Green. There is the AJ Green rule where you can trade him, however, not in 2025-26.
Yes.
Again, I don't know what's going on or what's happening. It's not a lot of fun. I can tell you that. What's fun is Giannis could go for Duran and 31st round picks, and you go ooh, but not. They don't have any eligible second round picks, and Green's off the table because of him.
Because of the Green rights.
Yeah, and not because they wouldn't want to trade him, but he's illegal to be traded this year. Again, I don't know why. I'm not pretending. I'm just telling you I found it confusing. But I'm an idiot, and that's been established. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins won their third in a
good. He looks like he's.
We're just going to ignore the killers bumping in there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, Jonathan.
Oh, I was just going to say, there was that rumor of the Instagram post where Jason Tatum soon. I don't know if that was real or not.
That was very real.
Okay.
Yeah, it was I believe it was his trainer Nick Sang's birthday, and he was doing a series of celebrations. And I think the idea was like, soon we'll be back together on the court.
Okay.
But I'm telling you,
people saw that and raced away with it,
and they
as you would expect.
He's coming back.
But I mean, obviously, now that the way that they're playing and they're actually.
But I don't even think he was always coming back. Like he wasn't working out this hard to be like, yeah, I can't wait to play in 2027.
But now it could be sooner than soon. I guess what I'm saying is we were projecting March, April.
Right. I'm up to February.
He's done everything possible to scream, I will be back shortly.
Well, let's talk about this because Daniel Jones just tore his Achilles, and they're saying he might not play next year. And he's got to play 17 games. I understand there's contact, but there's 17 games as opposed to 82 in the playoffs. And I understand it's a non-contact sport for the most part, but you are cutting and jumping on a torn Achilles. I would be a little. I don't know enough about the injury. I'm not going to pretend to. I know that offends people.
So
I'm just saying I would proceed with caution.
So there was a running back who came back after 6 months. I think he played for the Rams. I'm forgetting the name now. But
how long was his career after though? I mean, there's a lot of things that I got to know about.
He was not as impactful upon return.
Okay, but did he play like a long, fruitful career after?
It's a young. He's still in the NFL. I'm mad at myself for blanking on the name.
Okay, and he got back to where he was previously.
I believe so.
Okay.
Now, again, the idea you would think football is a more difficult sport to return to because of the contact.
No, though, because it's the repetition and the cutting is far greater in the NBA.
No one in the NBA has come back that quickly.
And I saw Aaron Rodgers last year, and I know he's old, and I know it's football, but he was coming back from an Achilles. In fairness, he can't run now, but he was pretty much immobile.
Exactly.
Okay.
Cam Akers is the guy you're talking about.
Yes, thank you.
Well,
and now the Miami.
How's Akers' career been?
It hasn't been great. No, he's not starting. He's not. He's a running back in the NFL, but he's not out there gaining 1,000 yards either.
My point with it is, and again, I'll let you talk for the rest of the break, is that I don't doubt that he could come back, and I don't doubt that this team is good and could use him. My concern is anything that is going to stop him on this trajectory that he's on or slow that process down or put that in jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he would tear it again, but again, when one part of you is weak,
for sure,
other parts make up for that, and then other parts can get injured. I would just work with extreme caution.
And I think they will operate with extreme caution. I think he will be chomping at the bit to be back out there by February, and I wonder if they will allow him to do that.
So just to the Daniel Jones comparison, Fred, to be fair, when Tatum went down May 12th, a lot of people said he's not playing next year, just like they're saying that about Daniel Jones right now. So that would be number one.
For sure.
Number two, it's if he comes back in February, which is I think still way on the early side, and what people, no one's convinced that's going to happen. That would be 9 months after the fact. Yeah, Daniel Jones might be ready to come back if he were on the same trajectory in October of next year. And at that point, if they have someone else in a quarterback who is playing well, they wouldn't necessarily want to have him back. There's no debate as to whether or not you want Jason Tatum on this basketball team. You know, there's no one there to replace him that might do a better job. So I think that comparison is, number one, the same, in that people said the same thing about Tatum. Man, he's not going to play next year. Well, it turns out he's most likely going to. It's looking like. But the big difference is that Tatum has to be here. Daniel Jones, it's a tougher case to make that he's got to be there for the Colts next year. What else are they going to do? Well, they could do a lot of stuff.
I was just going to say, Damian Lillard tore his Achilles 2 weeks before Tatum did, and Milwaukee announced before this season he wasn't going to play at all.
And Halliburton did it in June, and they immediately ruled him out. The Celtics have never, and I keep telling them this, like they never want to put a ceiling on anything. They don't want to put a ceiling on what they think this team can do. They don't want to put a ceiling on when Tatum can come back. So they never establish timelines, and that is a double-edged sword because now you're not putting any pressure on him, but also like it leaves open the possibility and the speculation. And then if he doesn't come back, then people overreact to that. And that's what happened with Gordon Hayward, where it was like a daily conversation until Brad was just fed up with it and was like, he's not coming back. My whole thing is, if you look, so there's a guy on the Miami Heat, Drew Smith, I believe it is, and he's at 10 months before he came back. So he tore it last December, was back for the start of this season. He's a role player. He's not playing a ton of minutes, but he's playing some of his best basketball. And there's a difference between what you expect from a role player and what you expect from Jason Tatum. But if he's ready, he's ready. And I don't, I think you do tread cautiously. I don't expect him to play. He might play once a week. It might be a football schedule to start. It might be you get to the playoffs and you're like, this might just be too intense. We'll see. Could be back for 2 months at that point.
To kind of start and stop him like that?
Again, I'm not a doctor, but all I know is
just in terms of everything, the chemistry of the team, the product on the court, everything is that wise.
Cross that bridge when you get to it. If you can put Jason Tatum back on the court, you do it. If Jason Tatum is comfortable enough to be back out there.
And you feel they believe that. Regardless,
100%.
even if they'd have to pivot like that, and they feel like there's a chance they would have to pivot.
Yeah, what is your ceiling without Jason Tatum this year? And I'm as bullish as anyone on this. And maybe the East is just so bad that maybe you do tell Tatum just, hey, we got a good thing going here. Just keep doing your rehab. We'll figure this out. But I hate the idea of if he didn't play this year, now all of a sudden it becomes everything. Oh, his first game's gonna be in October of next year, and it just becomes like now he hasn't played in 19 months and. I
get if he can play, but you're putting like a lot of caveats on it. Like if he can play, it might be once a week.
There might not be any caveats. Like again, I'm not a doctor. All I know is that I think they'll tread cautiously.
Let's get out of the doctor thing, though. I do find it interesting, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I find it interesting that you like the idea of him sporadically playing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because I think in long term, I think it benefits him to get out there and shake rust and get back to like what we would call normal. I think it can help the team because he's Jason Tatum. Even at 80% of what Jason Tatum is going to help you on the court. And I don't see a lot of downsides. Again, you have to be 100% convinced, and that's why the medical stuff. There's no way for me to know like what doctors are telling him and what the Celtics medical staff is comfortable with. I know for sure they will not put him in a position where this could become an issue longer term. Now, like anything, everything has risk, but I don't think there's any increased risk once he's checked all the boxes and the strength shows that the Achilles is back close enough to where it was.
Okay. And they could challenge in the East, obviously.
I get what you're saying, Fred. The idea of like bringing him back and maybe not having him be an every night player, and you talk about the chemistry and what the team is going to be. At that point in the season, you need to know what your team is going to be. This is not a time to be trying new things and getting the chemistry just right and the substitutions and who's going to be playing what. So, yeah, I think I would have some hesitancy bringing him back if I thought he may not actually be here every night and in the games that you don't even know that you need yet. But turns out, it would have been better if we had Tatum on that night to get that win and put us in that position. That's when the wins start to add up and total up, and you're looking at that stuff at that point.
That sounds like a sports radio thing. Like we got to complain about something.
What did you think we were doing here?
I know, but I'm just saying,
this is your first time in studio.
Our network will do the same thing.
Wait, this happens?
But you can't sit there and worry about like what. If you can put Jason Tatum back on the court, you do it, and you worry about what goes along with that. You can't just get caught up in, well, it would really suck if he missed the second night of the back-to-back, right? Like, you know that going in, it's going to be sporadic. I don't think it's going to deter this team. The ultimate ceiling for this team gets elevated if Jason Tatum is there. It solves a lot of problems for a team that is already out-kicking expectations.
How's your buddy Missoula doing? Is he okay?
He's good.
He's having a good season.
I mean,
he's having a really good season.
Coach of the year conversation right now. Pressing a lot of the right buttons.
Who's the super athletic guy that at the end of his career was on the Celtics to start? Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin was talking on some show about Joe Mazzulla, and he said when he first met, like one of the first times he was around Mazzulla, he walks into the Celtics facility. Blake Griffin, right, is the guy I'm talking about?
Yes,
okay, so
I've seen this.
Yeah,
yes.
so Blake Griffin walks into the facility, and I just thought this was so funny, and he hears this like pop, pop. And he goes, what's going on? And they're like, Joe's in the other room, like, doing karate.
Yeah.
With his sensei.
Yeah, and then Joe came over and said, "Hey, meet my sensei."
Yeah, which is so dorky. It's almost
who he was flying
unbelievable.
in from like Colorado.
It's like Napoleon. It's like Napoleon Dynamite. It's like it really is. Like
you love what you love, Fred.
But every movie that has like the try-hard nerd is like got nunchucks and like is doing karate.
Mm-hmm.
It's even in Ether by Nas when he makes fun of Jay-Z about being an adult who does karate.
You love what you love. You got to lean into what you are. Like,
Do you think he has throwing stars?
Yes, he's like a hesher at a carnival. He's like shooting bottle rockets at the quarry. Like the idea that he had a sensei at the facility so he could practice karate.
The idea that you're just so jealous over someone who has bow staff skills. You don't.
Napoleon Dynamite. It's Napoleon Dynamite. Does he draw pictures of centaurs and things too?
That I don't know.
And what's great, and I think Joe Mazzulla is really smart, and I think he's a great coach. What I do think is funny, though, is that he's under this impression that this stuff's like, he's like a real man. Like, this stuff is super cool.
You know what? Go up and challenge him to push hands and see if you think he's not a real man.
Oh, I don't doubt that he could beat me at push hands. I don't doubt he could beat me up. My goal in life is not to beat up Joe Mazzulla. I don't need to spend my time training for that.
You don't have anything you like that I don't know. Like
not karate,
He
Chris.
likes going to church.
Do I ever? But I do that on my own time.
It's a new thing.
I don't bring that in here. As much as I've tried to save you guys.
I like when people.
It would be bad enough if Joe went to a karate palace and did karate.
Karate palace.
It's a little different where he's got his sensei at the facility so he can train in front of everyone and let
Because
everyone
it's
know.
not just something you do for an hour on a Sunday morning. It's a lifestyle.
It's a state of mind,
Would you be mad if someone like golf?
I wouldn't
and
be
they
mad
had a
about
golf
any
coach?
of it. I would just think it's funny and that they're a dork.
I mean,
As opposed to you that thinks it's ultra cool. Okay, Chris, I get it.
I'm just saying. I
like I'm off the mark with
I
this
like the
whole mockery of
authenticity.
it. That it's like almost a trope in movies where you have the hard-on guy that lives in a van with nunchucks. I apologize. That's not anything that's been conquered ground.
Live in a van anymore.
Again, I gave you 100 examples from pop culture. Ether by Nas. It's a diss track, one of the greatest of all time. He makes fun of Jay-Z for doing karate. Like, it is funny to me. Now, the whatever the roly-poly one is that the people do with the gi, the wrestler one, the jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu.
Now, that's a problem. That's become like an Andrew Tate Rogan problem. But the karate is more humorous to me. I do find that's humorous. I just do think it's funny that every rich nerd became like Zuckerberg and all these guys. Go watch videos of Zuckerberg rolling around with some professional jiu-jitsu guy, like treating him with light hands, and Zuckerberg being like super into it, and try not to feel sorry for the guy.
You don't want to get choked out?
No, I look.
Learn
it's
a little
great,
something about yourself, how you respond to adversity.
Look, I love Anthony Bourdain, and Bourdain was super into it. I mean, his wife was a champion, so I kind of get it. But like, it's not that the discipline is of no use. The thing with jiu-jitsu was that just every rich guy started doing it, which I thought was funny. When it becomes just something that every tech dork starts like, going, I'm a real man. I wrestle around with someone letting me win. The karate thing is objectively funny. That's objective, and it is. I know you have to deal with the guy on a fairly regular basis, but it's funny. Blake Griffin thought it was funny. He was
not denying that part of it.
Yeah. All right. Caller number 10 of the contest line, 617-931-0985, will win a $100 Visa gift card from Valvoline Instant Oil Change this holiday season. Valvoline Instant Oil Change is giving you the gift of travel so you can get to all of your holiday events without worrying about the price of gas. I mean, that will show the people that bullied Zuckerberg. I mean, he is now a master of jiu-jitsu, and he earned it just like everyone else that really gets it. It's just such an obvious attempt to go like, I'm a man. Film this. Put this on my socials.
I'm gonna start taking jiu-jitsu lessons, and then I'm gonna sprinkle in the Adderall, and I'm gonna come in here one day like a spider monkey, and I'm gonna end this once and for all. And when I say it, I mean you.
Are you convinced that Zuckerberg beat you in a fight?
No.
Regardless of training,
No,
exactly. And therein lies my point. That is my point. All right. Thank you, Chris. We'll be back in just a moment. The holidays have just gotten very, very evil. We will explain in just a moment.
straight win last night, 5-2 in St. Louis. Fraser Minton and Mark Kastelik scored 2 goals apiece. And David Pastrnak added 3 assists in his return to the lineup. Bruins continue this road trip in Winnipeg tomorrow night. Patriots players will be back on the field of practice today with an eye towards a big home game this Sunday against Buffalo. In other NFL news, Indianapolis has signed 44-year-old quarterback and Pro Football Hall of Fame semifinalist Phillip Rivers to their practice squad. Outkick is also reporting that the team reached out to quarterback Derek Carr within the last few days as well. The Major League Baseball winter meetings are continuing in Orlando. Red Sox yesterday traded Vaughn Grissom to the Angels for a low minor league outfielder. Wilyer Abreu will play for Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic. Jaron Duran will suit up for Team Mexico. Philadelphia has re-signed Kyle Schwarber to a 5-year, $150 million contract. Dodgers yesterday signed former Mets closer Edwin Diaz to a 3-year, $69 million deal. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Enjoy the game with the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Please drink responsibly. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Takes the snap, and rolling to his right. He's being chased by Judon. Drake May on the run for the 5. Gets away.
Drake May knows it.
Boston, I think it's the best sports city in the world.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Fred describes himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Dutcher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
On 9:40, so that is good. They're for the Bills game, which is obviously of extreme importance. It's really a fascinating game, even though it might not matter in terms of winning the division or getting even the number 1 overall seed. Denver's got a gauntlet, and Denver's margin of victory is real small and probably not overly sustainable and all these things. But in what's been a very interesting season, but a very consistent season, obviously when you win 10 games in a row, it's just wow, it's just every week is equally impressive. This is a litmus test, even more, I think, than the game at Buffalo, because it's going to paint the rest of the season, at least temporarily, in a very interesting light, in that you beat Buffalo in any way, beat them by a point. Okay, you're the best team in the AFC, you are. But Denver's schedule up to this point has not been great either.
No.
You're the best team in the AFC. Given everything that's happened everywhere else, you are. So now it's, you not only could make the Super Bowl, you should make the Super Bowl. Not do I put your chances at over 50%? No, but I mean, I put them at 50%.
You're the odds-on favorite.
Right.
There's no question about it. There's no other team that can be in the conversation.
And there's really no reason to debate it. There's nothing to really debate. You've proven that up to this point, short of losing in the playoffs, you've proven it. Now, you lose the game, you're still probably going to get the bye. You're certainly probably going to still win the division because the Ravens are terrible and you finish up the schedule. Miami might have something to play for, but who knows if it will even get to that point. You might be resting guys against Miami. Now, if you get killed, even you lose by double digits, or it's a game that's been decided and you're kind of just running out the clock in the fourth quarter, then that becomes interesting, at least interesting, because that hasn't happened. And now in a game off a bye with a coach that's had tremendous success off the bye against a team that had been, kind of struggling and kind of found its footing recently, that is interesting. Now, does it matter in terms of dollars and cents? Does it matter in terms of your playoff positioning? I'm going to guess no, but it certainly raises a bit of a question mark. In terms of conversation, which is fair, I think. I think it's absolutely fair. Now, I will not be here on Monday. I will let you guys go over those things. I will save everyone that the annoyance of me being
but
here.
Please don't deny us your thoughts and feelings when you make it back on Tuesday.
I got. They'll be even more well formed because I'll be able to steal everyone else's. I'll have a day to have stolen everyone else's thoughts.
Yeah,
very cunning.
It's
a great move.
I'll have it taping everything Ryan Clark says. All right,
but I think you're right in that if they win the game, then I don't know how you argue against them in terms of the AFC, the conversation shifts to, well, once they make it to the Super Bowl, which now they should, how many teams from the NFC would beat them in that game?
Well, I mean, the reason I put the AFC at 50%, winning the AFC at 50%, is that you're playing it's against the field, right? So it's not.
Oh yeah.
Could you beat any team? It's that. I mean, there's like a myriad of teams that it's the field. It's like Tiger Woods is the best golfer 15 years ago. Is he's got a 50% chance over the field? But I think that's kind of where I would be at that point.
But I think for you specifically, yes. If the Patriots win on Sunday, here on this show on Monday morning is the last place that you, Fred Toucher, would want to be. I don't know that would be a good place for you.
Well, the reason I'll tell you why I picked the day is that A, it's the book ends today, and then B, I had a day I had to burn, and C. I'm not. The Friday before vacation is a real lax affair, so I was not going to skip out on
it's
that.
like a vacation day anyway.
Yeah, so I figure, and I also did figure Andrew Callahan being here, a lot of Patriot fans would prefer that. I think, especially coming off a win, because he's around, he talks to all the players. Let him, tell you his thoughts. What do you care what I think? Now, if they lose, then that's when you want to hear from me, because I know all about it.
Well,
I know all about losing. I know all about the loss. That I can relate to.
Hold everyone's hand and explain to them the feelings that they're feeling.
Even though this team bucked all that, they bucked it all. I was all prepared to lead everyone through this season and give positives when they needed to be given, but
I think the last 2 years.
I
think the last 2 years have been healthy for all of us listening to you, help guide us through these.
But I've been wrong.
But not this year.
No. What I'm saying is, your job
disaster.
may very well have it's been completed. You've led us through the down 2 years, and now we're all set.
But regardless if they win or lose, it's the holiday season. You're probably feeling pretty good. I hope that the holiday season's having a positive effect on you. But that needs to be ruined. Now, how is that possible? The internet. The internet is what makes it ruining everything possible. Why, Fred, why? If you hate something so much, do you expose yourself to it? Mental illness. I don't know why I am obsessed with this. I don't know why I feel I have to bring it to everyone's attention. But I hate a lot of the internet. Not because I feel I'm being passed by, not because I'm middle-aged.
Some good, content.
Because it's objectively terrible. What are you talking about? Nice family. A Jewish family that pretends to be Italian, but I don't know why that is, but it's the whole thing. I understand you're from New Jersey, but you're not in the mafia. You could never be made.
It's like Hesh.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Hesh. Like, I like you're putting off this huge Italian vibe, but you're not Italian. But who am I to judge? But nonetheless, family, nice family, 2 kids, muscular dad, mom, and what have they brought to the world? The phrase "the boom," and they started in Costco. They started in Costco. Now, Fred, you don't get the internet. Oh, no. I get it. This is objectively bad. Well, this is the future of media. You're being aged out. I don't think history is going to look back fondly on this. Like, no one goes, you didn't get Urkel. Like, no one says Family Matters was a delight. It was hated in its time by anyone with a brain. And it continues to be derided and hated to this day. There are things I'm confident will not last the test of time. Garbage.
But if they bring people joy in the moment.
We bring the boom. That's what we do.
What's wrong with that?
Well, they're pivoting because you have to say boom because that's the catchphrase. And catchphrases are always funny, as the show Extras, the Ricky Gervais vehicle, shows you. And always sustainable and always good for success. Think of all the shows with catchphrases and how fondly you look back on them.
Hey!
Yeah, right. And Happy Days was cooking at the end. I would tell you the last, after season 2.5, the wheels fell off at Happy Days. Now, it made money.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone involved is overly happy with their roles.
So how did the...
I question Potsy's career.
Fonzie teaching at the end, not good.
No. No, he taught with Potsy.
Yeah.
Oh, I just
Remember the
pump
leg
your
bone?
blood.
Pump your blood.
Yeah.
In real time, when the Happy Days Pump Your Blood episode came out, no one went,
Pump your blood.
That's good.
That's enduring. That's going to last.
It was a bunch of middle-aged people. By the way, we're Generation X, not Boomers. You got to get that right. You're really lumping in a really indifferent generation in with Boomers. We are now as Generation X. We are bookended by two hysterical generations that are insufferable. In that the Boomers are the worst of the worst. Hippies that turned into the antithesis of everything that they extolled as virtues. Yeah. And then millennials that are just hysterical about everything. Generation X is never going to have a president. That's a theory I recently heard that I believe, that our generation is never going to have a president because our generation is a generation of you do it. Fine. If it makes you that happy, go ahead. And I feel that's value to it.
Just leave me out of it.
And whatever our kids' generation is, I feel a lot of the spirit of our generation in, because I think we raised them. And I think that will come to pass if you're looking at it as a cultural litmus, which is how I look at the Boom people. Now, it is the holidays. Now, to my knowledge, they are Jewish, but listen, it's Christmas is for everyone. And this is what the Boom people, all four of them, have brought to the table. This is what makes money in 2025. This is what someone somewhere is funding. And this is what life is all about. This is what our culture has become. It's almost insufferable. It makes the Family Matters television show look like Goodfellas. At least there were jokes written in there, as unfunny as they were. And let's be honest, when Urkel made the machine that could transform his personality, we all were on board. He became a karate guy, much like the coach of the Celtics at one point. Mm-hmm. Here is the Boom people. Honesty, who is this for? I get why they're doing it. They want to be famous and make money.
People who want to get in the spirit of Christmas but don't feel compelled to go to church by themselves on a Sunday morning.
In all honesty, though, my own eccentricities and faults aside, who is this for? What's going on? I'm dead serious. What's going on?
This is for the people that looked at their original videos and said, "Ooh, this is funny. I like this." Boom.
It's been years,
right? But there's this insisted upon, if you're at that level of notoriety, well, you got to do a Christmas.
But there's no joke.
No,
there's no sentiment in that is at all appealing to anyone.
It's a laundry list of holiday tropes.
What's going on? Honestly, what's going on? Why do I care? I don't know. It's destroying me. What's going on?
Look, they're bringing the boom to you and everyone.
I get it. I just gotta know who is consuming this and not becoming enraged. I get it. You're healthy. You can ignore it, but it exists and is making money. And I want to know who they. I don't even want to get. Why do the kids have to do it?
Well, they're part of all the videos, Fred.
What's going on?
People would miss them if they weren't.
What is going on? In the video, it's quite literal. They're at Rockefeller Center, and the daughter is ice skating, not particularly well, but she's ice skating. What's going on?
Commenters underneath the YouTube post say, "Great song. My birthday is on Christmas Eve, and it's a perfect song for the holidays and my birthday." And one more thing, Merry, spelled with an A, Boom Christmas.
Yeah, they say inappropriate things about the daughter, which is great. Scott, go ahead.
What's your problem?
You tell me. What's going on? You don't like this.
I love it. I think it's funny.
No,
My
you
kids
don't.
loved it.
What?
Yeah,
No, they don't.
Hey, Quinn Ewers, when he scored touchdowns in Texas, did the boom dance.
Yeah, and where is he now? His 7th round pick.
That's a great example, Scott.
Fred? You know what, Fred? It's taking a check. One of the best Beatles ever, Paul McCartney, made one of the worst Christmas songs ever.
It's a song.
He ruined Christmas for
It's
people.
a song that he wrote and performed. You might not like it, but it was.
This is a song that they wrote and performed.
Like I say, what's going on with that?
Paul
Why'd you have to do
McCartney
that?
is an artist that is a
Yeah,
musical
that song
genius, and he wrote a bad song.
The Beatles?
But I understand.
The Beatles suck.
It was. Look, I'm not the world's biggest Beatles fan, but you cannot deny their cultural impact. Now the Boom people are the Beatles.
It was good, Scott.
No,
It was really good.
it was a terrible point.
Great
it makes
point.
no
Great
sense.
points made. Excellent phone call.
I love Scott. He made no points.
Maybe leave that one in your hip pocket.
He just said
Maybe
the
not
Beatles.
bring that up.
He went the Beatles, and of course it's the same
Of course
thing.
you would. Oh yeah.
It's the same thing as a band making a bad song. That's exactly what it is. It's the same thing. It's an artist making an error. That's the same thing. It's this is vomitous. It's a problem. It's a problem. I really swear to my Lord, who I worship in church.
Yes.
I find it to be a problem. Nick, go ahead.
Yes. Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
There was a video of the Costco dad and the son maybe a year or two ago, and they do like live streams, and people can comment on the live streams. And somebody commented that their brother recently passed away, and the dad said, "Let's get 5 big booms."
I think that was a cameo. Let's not even put that on a live stream. I believe that was a pre-planned and taped cameo that they were
you guys should find
reimbursed
that
for.
and play that.
Oh no, we have it.
We have it.
We have it right here, as a
Oh, yeah.
matter of fact, Nick.
Yeah, well, and when they're branching out and doing the cameos and stuff like that, that's one thing. I don't think they're necessarily going to make an entire song to somebody who passed away, but far be it from me to stop them in their artistic.
It would be a
choices.
ballad.
Oh, we're so sorry to hear about your brother that passed away. He gets 5 big booms.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the 80s, what was like the most garbage like cultural thing?
Where's the beef?
Okay. Yeah. So it was
Oh, I
a
love
commercial, a 30-second commercial that was made to endorse a company where they're selling hamburgers. It was presented as a commercial.
Mm-hmm.
So it was on in between programming that you were watching for entertainment. It was a culture. It was a agreement between you and the producers of the television that in order to get the television for free, you'd sit through the "Where's the Beef" commercial. So there was a cultural contract there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the show. This isn't the commercial. This is the show. This is the thing. The center square on, like, Hollywood Squares. At least they were telling jokes. There was a game. Something was going on. I can't tell you how serious I am. Nothing is going on here.
Where's the Rizzler? He's not in the video.
The Rizzler's got like his own Arizona iced tea. The Rizzler's got like a bit of a business. I don't
he's
hate on the
branched
Rizzler.
out. Oh, all right.
No. The Rizzler's
All right.
the Rizzler's got like legitimate business going on. As much as like I don't find it entertaining, he's like the "Where's the Beef" lady. Like the Rizzler's got a brand and a whole thing happening, and he's a kid, and like I get it. Like that's a story as old as time. Cute kid hawks products. I get it. There's nothing like that going on here. There's nothing.
Chocolate cookies for Santa with milk in the glass.
He like
chip cookies.
Oh, shut up. The big muscular guy obviously eats a lot of cookies. Because he's obsessed with working out, and they go hand in hand. His big thing is he eats a big cookie. Again, what's going? What is that? What's going on? Does this not trouble any of you?
You know it troubles me. We talk about it quite,
I know it
quite often
troubles
off
you.
the air. I hate this.
I hate
I
it
hate all
so,
of it.
I hate it. And I don't hate them.
And oh, wait.
I got to make this clear.
Yes.
I don't hate them at all. And I don't even blame them.
You hate the people that enjoy this.
Exactly. I don't often dislike the person profiting from it because I understand the motivation. They desperately want to be famous. I get it. And they're devoid of talent. And I understand it. And they've been rewarded. I get why they're doing it. I don't understand why the kids are being allowed to do this because this is not going to end well. I don't think it's going to end in tragedy or anything. It's just like they're not going to be looked upon in the future as being like, the coolest people on the planet. But I will, unless we've just become a corporate transactional society where nothing matters and it's just as long as you made money, like it's fine. Like there should be like a bit of shame as you become an adult and you look back and go like, at least on the parents, like look what you've done. But that's beside the point. I want to know about the people consuming it for entertainment, like real entertainment. Like I like this. This is something I enjoy. That's the problem. Those are the people I hate. And they're obviously legions. Not everyone is hate watching this. Somewhere someone likes this, and more than one person. And that's a problem. Really, unironically, in all seriousness, maybe I'm mentally ill, fine. But I believe it's a problem.
It is.
That it bothers you this much, yeah.
Fine.
We got to break
But I know, but maybe I'm a soothsayer, and maybe you should pay attention to me in this case.
I don't think anyone's disagreeing with you. They're just not upset to this level.
Well, I knew James Corden was a fraud. Maybe you pay attention to me. Maybe I am the Paul Revere.
Yeah, I was a huge fan until I heard you speak the truth.
Did you vocalize it? Did you warn people? Because if you didn't warn people, you're implicit as the people enjoying it. Sometimes you have to warn people. It's my job as a cultural critic. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Patriots take on the Buffalo Bills Sunday at Gillette Stadium, in which should be a fascinating game and a game that would be a lot of fun to be at. That should be, as Gillette goes, a raucous crowd. I wonder how many Buffalo fans will be there. I wonder if the Buffalo fans will travel.
Yeah, this is drivable. There'll be some. There'll be a sizable portion.
Again, because I do have an affinity for the Buffalo fans. Every time that they show the crowd, it's like 1975. They're drunk. They're on pills. Like, they are there to, like, get arrested. Like, I can't think of another crowd like it. I mean, I've been there, but, you know, people go, oh, Detroit's a rough city, but you go to a Lions game, it's exceptionally family friendly.
Yeah.
It used to not be at the Silverdome, but neither was, old Foxborough. I mean, they wouldn't even have Monday Night Football there because of the fights. Buffalo's like the one remnant of that still. Like, that audience is there to fight and get arrested and get just blacked out. And I do appreciate it.
Yeah. I don't think the Bears crowd is anything like that.
No, the Bears crowd is apathetic, and it's impossible to get. The Bills, that's like a lifestyle. And every time they showed that crowd in that Bengals game, everyone had 17 beers stacked up, all proud, and like they're swaying and like very close to like getting kicked out. I do enjoy that. It's not like that. It's not like that in most places anymore. For good.
A lot of Bills fans that don't make it in, and then there are fans that like to get kicked out.
I told you I had a friend. His whole family would go, and he would end up quite often chewing Vicodins and drinking, and just ended up waking up after the game.
Yeah.
He never left the parking lot. He was just like, "What do you want out of me?"
Got an email here. We were talking about the podcast earlier in the podcast. They've been nominated for the Golden Globes this year. Smartless is on the list with Sean Hayes, Jason Bateman, and Will Arnett. And I said, no, I don't like Will Arnett because he was mean to Robbie Roadsteamer on the Gong Show. Emailer says, so my girlfriend dated Will Arnett after we met him at the premiere of the movie Southie. He was so arrogant, bragging about his dad and being the son to the Molson Empire. Spoiler alert, his dad was CEO. He was douchey, took her to the Nantucket Stroll where she broke her foot on the cobblestones, and he dumped her the next week for Amy Poehler.
Is that real?
Well, the email is from Sarah and Everett, so you tell me if it's real.
I don't know if she threw the Nantucket Stroll thing in for effect.
She did say in the subject line, if you read, please say who sent the email after it's read. Fred hates me.
Wow. I don't hate. Sarah's funny. Like, you sent me terrible emails every day for a year, and like, what am I supposed to like you? That's an interesting friendship.
Again, she's just pulling pigtails. You gotta understand the dance.
I'm 50. I don't really need to be. Listen, you have every right to email me and tell me I suck if that's your want. But if you do that every day for an extended period of time, I'm going to guess, unless you're a big masochist, that you're not going to really enjoy the person doing it. I don't know if that's the best way to make a friend, is to consistently, in real time, tell the person how much you dislike what they're saying. Wasn't every now and again. It was several times a show. Yeah, I don't like you. I don't know what you expected that exchange to be. Yes, I don't like you. I don't like what you say. I don't like the way you talk to me. I don't like you.
Yeah, I think of the three of us, she's attached herself to Hardy. She doesn't particularly like me either.
No,
so
she loves Hardy.
Loves
Well,
Hardy.
she never listened to the show before Hardy was on.
Right.
Hardy brought her to the show.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, listen, I don't care. As long as you listen, you can say whatever you want. It doesn't mean I have to like you.
I'm bringing someone else back to the show. Tell Fred I'll go on the show on Monday since he's out. Watch out for fireworks. Gare Bear out.
I'm willing to bear the hatches as long as your am's straight. Long as you... You know what? Maybe I'll buy the station, Kevin Smith style, and take you off.
Apologies.
Yeah.
That's not Gary Tangler.
Yeah.
Fake Blind.
You're ruining my brand.
Not Blind Scott or Fake Blind Scott was on the show this morning. Tons of emails about Fake Blind Scott. I don't know the last time we did something that was so universally enjoyed as the Fake Blind Scott Christmas carols this morning.
I think that Fake Blind Scott is great because it was organic. It was not something that we created. It was a listener that we don't know that came in with a great impression, great content. And that is always appreciated by people.
Yeah, Ben said, even not understanding all the references, his cadence and spot-on nonsensical rants killed it. Great job. Not so blind, Scott.
Well, I think the idea of not getting the references is kind of the joke.
I don't know that anybody could get all of them.
Well, I don't know if there's a poet laureate of a bank, but I enjoy it too, and thank you for enjoying it. This is emails that we've gotten a lot, and I'll just bring it up one more time because I'll watch it today. This is from Dave Sullivan, who emails a lot. I watched the Jordan episode of Elsbeth. Okay, so there's an hour-long, I guess, comedy drama that's on network television called Elsbeth. And they did one spoofing. It's like a crime thing. I'm very surprised John does not watch it because it seems like an hour-long drama, and he's a big Blue Bloods guy.
Would it make you feel better if I told you my wife does?
Well, it would shock me. It would throw my world out of whack if she didn't. So
my wife watches this show.
Yeah, but
Yes.
maybe not this time of year because that is for Hallmark movies.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
By the way, save yourself the Dennis Leary, Michelle Pfeiffer Christmas vehicle. While an excellent cast, I would go so far as to say, and I don't mean to be consistently negative about things today, there are lots of things I do like. It's unwatchable. My ex-wife and I talked about it yesterday.
Really?
She tried to watch it, and I love all those people.
Yeah.
Like Jason Schwartzman, who's great, is in it. Like, it's a phenomenal cast. I don't think I'm telling tales out of school. It's terrible. Like, if Dennis Leary was sitting here, I'd be like, I love you, and I think you're a great... I do think Dennis Leary's a great actor, and I'd be like, you had to know this script was garbage. Yeah. I watched the Jordan episode of Elsbeth. It was pretty good. Didn't make Jordan look good, although the actress that represented her did, wink, wink. I have to say, though the non-cop advising the cops genre, I'd have to say goes Castle, High Potential, Elsbeth, a distant third. Castle has a guy that seems to have a pretty ingrained career in shows I've never seen.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion, I believe.
Yes, I know him from a fantasy he played in the show, the animated show Big Mouth, the Nick Kroll one. One of the nerdy girls had a pretty ongoing fantasy of him. And but High Potential I've never seen either. I don't watch hour-long dramas unless they're prestige television. And that I haven't done for a decade. I watch very little television shows anymore. Family Guy, even though it's not very good anymore, and South Park, I now consume. And Seinfeld's off Comedy Central, which I am apoplectic about.
I know, the comfort food is gone.
And I don't want to watch Seinfeld on Netflix. I want commercials. Why? I don't know.
And
it comforts me.
I don't want to pick the episode. I want you to pick the episode.
I just like it being on.
Yeah.
And I like that Hardy feels the same way because I don't feel alone in this, is that if I guess you're of our generation, which is middle-aged, not old, that there is something for syndicated television, the randomness of it and just the comfort of it being on in the background. And The Office doesn't hit that anymore for me.
No.
I'm kind of sick of it.
There's too many soft spots in the Office seasons too.
And it's a little too on repeated viewings, like gooey.
Yeah.
Like there's like a lot of like the Pam and Jim thing, while in real time was not annoying, repeated viewing, it's a little much. And you know my feelings on Jim mugging for the camera. And that's not an insult to the actor, Bowen Elementary School's own actor.
And I may be on an island on this one, but any Robert California episode, I will stop what I'm doing.
Robert California saved the show.
James Spader. And people feel the complete opposite about that section of time for The Office, but I'm the other way.
I would argue that those people haven't really watched it. Now, the last season without him is they all say it too. It was not good. But when Steve Carell left, they had a bumpy thing with Farrell, like coming in and doing a cameo that wasn't funny.
No.
Ray Romano was actually pretty funny on it.
Yep.
But then the Robert California season or two, I think it might have only been one, was phenomenal. And then the season 9 was an abject disaster, and they all know it, everyone that was on that show. All right, look, we have to give away these Patriot tickets. Caller number 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985. We'll score a pair of tickets to see the Patriots take on the Buffalo Bills Sunday at Gillette Stadium. We will be right back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
lease offers during VW's winter deal days. Yes, you can have it all at Colonial.
We may have to pivot here. We were going to get into a Gene Simmons thing, but I was alerted that Blind Scott had entered the YouTube chat this morning. And it's just, I'll see if I can find anything that he commented. It's not difficult to find. I just pulled it up, and you only have to go back the last few minutes. Here's just a sampling. If you go to the Boston Garden, they have an unbelievable military veterans discount. The old ladies in the North End called my guide dog school and got them to cancel me. The old lady at the Salvation Army chased me away and told me to never come back. Most old ladies are scary, and they were making fun of Hardy early, and it was just kind of giving me some traumatic vibes.
The old ladies were making fun of Hardy early?
Got kicked out of a bunch of coffee shops. They'll give the tickets away in like 5 minutes, I think. It's just Blind Scott going after Blind Scott comment after Blind Scott comment.
Yeah, I like him in there. Weed everyone out.
I actually like that a lot.
Yeah. Really jam that thing up. Yeah.
Change the tone.
Yeah, get that. Yeah, Blind Scott really muck up the works in there. Well done, Blind Scott.
Blind Scott, we approve of this behavior.
Yeah, put all those people on the defensive. That's good.
Instead of, not just eat up the whole chat. So, like, if you go to watch it, it's just this Blind Scott guy going crazy.
But then he's like, gone.
Come back. From now on, no emails, just YouTube.
Yeah,
comments.
I would prefer you take it all to YouTube. At least there can be a conversation. I never email you back. At least you can have a nice conversation there. One-sided, but at least, there's a lot of people listening. It's just not dictating an email to me or the other guys, I'm all for that.
Anyone check in on the emails from this morning and do a quick count?
No.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
well,
10,
we
11, 12,
put them on the air, so it's going to be a whole
more
thing.
than enough.
I would say, but just a quick look here. I see 23 emails from this morning.
Okay. I think that's down from yesterday.
That's not bad.
Yeah. But then again, he was on the air. That limits his ability to send emails. So
yeah.
Do the emails go to all three of you every time, or does he sometimes single one of you out?
Looks like it's all three of us each time.
Every time.
Oh, not necessarily.
You get private ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of thoughts on my parent thing. I'm a good parent.
Got it.
He likes that.
We should play the Fred specific fake Blind Scott Christmas Carol on the way.
Why don't we go out with that instead of Ask Man? Go ahead. Fire it up whenever you're ready.
Well, this has been a very short break, and it's only 54 after. I'm not going to break right now.
Oh.
That would be not good for any of us. I will break in a moment, but not at this. I'm not ending the show right at this second.
You call for it when you're ready.
Thank you, sir. That would be best not to end the show this early, as we are still on the clock, and it is still rated. Tomorrow, if you want to break at 54, we can break
you
at
can
54.
do whatever you want tomorrow.
But today, we're not breaking at 54. All right, you got one small one or nothing? Because I can read you a quick email, and then we can play the thing. All right, let me see if I have it up. Just one more thing on the Boom Guys. The problem with that, much of that content, like the Boom Guys, is meant to be consumed and forgotten. Bad Christmas songs from members of the Beatles were still meant to be listened to multiple times. And for years, the Boom Guys aren't meant to be thought about after you close the app. It's a huge problem with modern quote-unquote content. Nothing is meant to impact you enough to invest in long-term anymore. It's meant to be easily consumed and moved on from, not upset the apple cart. Nothing matters because it mattered. People would be upset and lose it. That is from Jeremy.
Move on.
Very quickly, one last one. Alex, hey, Fred, I assume you watch Bob's Burgers because it's awesome, and people often say I sound and look like the Bob character. You know the nerdy kid voiced by Aziz Ansari, who is quote-unquote super cool because he takes karate and tries to start his own bodyguard service. That's Missoula. Keep up the good work, Alex. The story is Blake Griffin, one of his first times at the facilities, heard a snapping and pounding, and he said, "What's going on?" And they said, "Missoula's in the other room doing karate." And then when he saw Missoula said, "Would you like to meet my sensei?" which is Napoleon Dynamite. And that is what was going on there.
Oh, I got one last thing. Someone sent me a Cartnarks ski hat.
Oh, there you go.
Sebastian?
I have no idea. It's just one of the packages showed up, nothing inside.
Huh?
Look at that. Put on my
I'll ask
Cartnarks
Sebastian.
hat.
My friend is the Cartnark.
Yeah, ask him if he sent it, and if he did, tell him thank you.
That'd be extraordinarily odd if he sent you an unmarked package with a branded hat.
Yeah, but he gave me a decal when he was in here. He made me an honorary Cartnark that day.
Well, the thing was, he was here and handed it to you. It would be a little different to mail that, but what do I know? Good for him on having merch. I'm sure it's
No
made
weirder
him a
than
mint.
going to church by yourself randomly.
And ladies and gentlemen, we'll leave with that. One person headed south and one headed way up in the clouds, and that is me. We will leave you with Fake Blind Scott on a Christmas message. That'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Bye.
Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas. Oh, yeah, Fred, I noticed the tickets for Zoe's Christmas ball on your kitchen island somehow. I figured I could drive her and her date, you know? My girlfriend's sister has access to an aftermarket 2013 Isuzu Trooper on alternate Fridays. There's a Build-A-Bear at the North Shore Mall. Oh, and I left a candy gerbil in the house somewhere for Deuce to find.